Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the most dangerous and possibly the best podcast in all of every fucking multiverse, the Film Blurs.
Shit.
I'm Jeff Stewart. Got him. I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J.O.T's Dynamite, a.k.a. Revengeman Button, he who remains Penny Rexman, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, to be determined, the Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. That's all I got. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
What's up, you fucking ball bags? It's Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. hero protagonist, moving backwards through time, saving battered wives and their children while listening to Travis Scott, a.k.a. the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids. Just read over the weekend that Kim is raising them kids by herself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. That's why them checks is cashing in my pocket. We co-parenting tonight. Hey, yo, Kanye, guess what? I'm up in that shit every night, nigga. They call you Kanye now. They call me Dad. North's like, Daddy, did you see my play? I'm like, yeah, I saw your play. You were good, honey. You were good. Now go play with your brothers. Now go play with your brothers and sisters while I go fucking smack on this buttocks right here in front of me.
God damn. Worst stepdad ever. Just molested Kim in front of the kids.
No, what did I just say? I said, go play with your brothers and sisters so I could go.
You know they're peeking around the corner.
How keep that door locked? You hear the knock. Get off topic for a second. That's one of my favorite things in the amateur world, yo. You hear the knock on the door, and mid-stroke, you just hear them go play. SpongeBob is on. Go play.
Or the dog barking. The dog barking gets me every fucking time.
Or the cat who enters the frame and they kick the cat off the bed. I'm like, damn, y'all.
It's like, no, Snowball, no.
No. AKA Papi Chulo, still sticking Molly up all the women in your lives' butt and getting them all pregnant and eating all your Jello. How do you like that? AKA the Glizzy King. Yo, I could go for a fucking Glizzy right now, like with cheese. With like cheese whiz and fucking onions and fucking chili with some ketchup on that motherfucker.
I did that shit yesterday at the other screening of Wicked, and it was delicious going down.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yo, listen,
that ride home was dangerous.
Listen, yeah. Yo. I don't. You could go to the healthiest. It could be the healthiest, cleanest glizzy. That glizzy will still destroy your colon, just like the bacon wrap crust on a Little Caesars pizza. Destroy your colon. Destroy your colon. Destroy your colon. AKA, Mr. Krusty. I don't want to close my eyes. Oh, baby. Shit. I ran out of animal crackers. I got to go to the store for a minute. Hold on. Hey, baby, you got $3 for some animal crackers?
No, not borrowing the money.
Get $3 and get these animal crackers and get back up in here. Because I don't want to miss a thing.
Baby, let me hold $3. Let me hold $3.
AKA the Lethal Protector.
Eddie, our money's not making as much. Our movie's not making as much money stateside, but worldwide, it'll be our highest grossing. We did it. Our last dance.
AKA, my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA, I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape-ups. AKA, the Zooted God. Zooted right now. AKA, Rough McGruff. AKA, D's Nuts. And AKA, B-Wood, the Mob Deeb. Call me your Messiah. And then kiss the ring while I backstroke my mistress because she's making me emperor of the universe. But I'm really in love with this woman over here. She's just my concubine. That's my real wife.
I'm waiting. You gotta close it out.
Oh no, that's it. Nigga,
That's
That's it.
As you were going through all your AKAs, was like, man, I should have done something with Wicked. But then again, I can't sing, and I don't want to butcher that song, any song from this, because drama nerds will come after me.
Yeah, yo, listen.
I'll end up as a fucking TikTok sound.
I finally decided to post about it on social media on Friday because Thursday I was out of it Thursday.
Right.
Friday morning I post on Instagram and fucking Twitter that my tweets fucking blow up with people in my DMs. Then in Instagram, my Instagram post, it did okay. And then next thing I know, I got hundreds of DMs. I'm like, how about all you motherfuckers go share this post instead of fucking bothering me? Like, God damn it. Movie comes out in less than a week. Like, calm your tits down.
And you know what the worst thing is? When a motherfucker will text you or message you, like, "Oh, how was the movie?" I was like,
and I'm like, listen to the podcast.
You know, I have a whole entire
podcast,
whole ass podcast where I
hate
tell you how
doing
the
that
fucking
shit
movie.
too.
Yeah,
I do that shit too. Like, people are like, "How was the movie?" I'm like, "Oh, the episode's gonna drop soon."
Right? It's like you realize the only reason I'm doing this because I have a whole entire ass fucking podcast where I talk about this shit ad nauseum.
Also, you could check my social media. You could
Right.
go on Letterboxd because a lot of you motherfuckers who do this, you follow me on Letterboxd. Like, you can see my ratings on fucking Letterboxd. I don't say anything most of the time. I just put ratings, but like, it's still up on there.
And even when I post on Instagram, y'all know if I don't like a movie without me saying it, right? Like, just like the way I word my fucking posts, like, you know if I liked it or not.
Yeah, if you've noticed a trend this year on my posts, you'll see I'll give a slap rating if there's something to talk about. Otherwise, if there's nothing to talk about, I usually just put yikes.
Right. Like,
and
if you see
we have a yikes this episode.
It's not as bad as a yikes as I thought it was going to be.
But it's still a yikes. It's just like, woo. Yeah. Damn.
But like, so here's code for looking at our individual socials and the Film Blur socials. If we go, yo, just assume that it's fucking good. And if we go, yikes, or then you can parse that out.
Yeah, nigga, like, goddamn, bro, like, look, I'm glad everybody texts me, but like, text me about some like shit I just didn't watch and we haven't reviewed yet. Like, if you want to talk about Twisters, text me about Twisters, bro.
Right.
Text me about Twisters. So text me about, I'll talk to you about fucking The Lighthouse all day long. Yo, text me about that. Don't text me about a movie I just came out of a press screening for and you're asking me, yo, how was it? Listen to the fucking show.
Like, one of my favorite watches this week was a suggestion from somebody, right? So like that they just, like, have you seen this? It's like, no, you should really check it out. Like, all right, I will.
Yeah, man. Like, goddamn. Goddamn. R.I.P. Tony Todd, the god,
the
horror god,
the candy man, the candy motherfucking man.
Outside of DMX, the only other black dude that goth girls fuck with. Oh no, excuse me, I take that back. Add me to that list. So only one of 3 black men goth girls fuck with.
Man, like, he's got a storied career. He's got over 50 movie credits, if not more.
Hell yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what the movie was, right? That doesn't matter whatever movie he was fucking in. Doesn't matter if it was the lowest low budget indie film. having Tony Todd in your movie made your movie better.
Hell yeah. Final Destination, I love that first one, dog. Love the first one. Second one, I was like, even, but he elevated the second one. And I'm glad they didn't bring him back after 2, because eventually you're just gonna have to be like, he's
dead,
doing
dead.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Hatchet series. The only reason I stuck around watching the Hatchet series was because of Tony Todd.
Yeah, man.
Right.
With that golden voice.
Yeah, man. We're losing all the fucking silk voiced motherfuckers. We lost fucking James Earl. Fucking Tony Todd.
Sweets for the sweets.
Fucking has anyone checked on Morgan Freeman?
Yo, listen. If somebody at Disney's listening to this right now, I want to let you know. Yo, y'all need to give me like $80 or $90 million and a couple of IMAX cameras and let me fucking do gargoyles before Keith David passes on. Okay?
Right.
I will freak the fuck out of a live action gargoyles movie. I will tell you this, it'll be a franchise starter, but it'll also have a beginning, middle, and end, just in case people don't go see this motherfucker.
I want to have a movie starring Keith David and David Keith.
That'd be hard.
That movie would be fucking hard as fuck.
When was the last time we saw David Keith?
I don't know, man. Let's get into more news. Let me look up the last thing he did.
All right. Last thing I remember him doing is Indian and the Cowboy, or the Indian in the Cupboard, where he's the cowboy.
All right, let's see.
Anyways, our last bit of news. So, Nolan already had his release date staked out for July 15th. It was either 15th or 16th, 2026. Well, a couple weeks ago, Sony decided to be like, hey, we'll date our movie the weekend after that on July 26th, 2026. Both of these movies, by the way, it's now come out that Nolan's movie is starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, elite cast, on top of it being a Nolan movie and being shot on next generation IMAXs. So you know that motherfucker has till like September. Because if Oppenheimer, Dunkirk, Inception proved, you guys just gotta let that shit play. Zendaya and Tom are also the stars of Spider-Man 4. If y'all do this, you understand they'll never make another Spider-Man movie again. Like, y'all had a hard time getting them back for this fourth one.
Right.
This will be it. Especially Tom. Tom was like, when they asked him about being in the Nolan movie, he's like, all I can say, this is a dream come true. And like the look on his face, you're like, oh, this motherfucker is just happy to be in a big ass movie that's not Spider-Man.
And like, honestly, besides what The Devil All the Time, yeah. Like he's not in serious movies.
Well,
right?
The Impossible. That's what he blew up off of.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's known as Spider-Man, and like as soon as he got that Spider-Man fame, the only like really serious movie like where he could be an actor was that Netflix, The Devil,
which
All the
wasn't
Time.
bad, not a bad movie.
It was okay. It was a little long.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, it was fine for a Netflix movie. It was great.
Sure. But yeah, man, like y'all come on, man. And also, no offense, but like, yo, Zendaya is one of the biggest stars on the face of the earth. Like, she has a movie with Robert Pattinson coming out real soon. She's about to do the third and final season of Euphoria. She's about to work with I think she said she's doing something with what's my man's name? Luca again. And then, you know, Dune's also getting ready to shoot Dune Part 3. Or excuse me, not Dune Part 3. Dune Messiah.
Right.
Completely different story. Sorry, y'all. I told you I'm zooted. Anyway, like, yo, y'all really. Also, we all saw what happened last summer when Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible tried to pull this shit. You know what Spider-Man is not getting? Ain't getting them IMAX screens, because you know IMAX is going to be like, We are not pissing off the one filmmaker who made us and is using new technology. Like they know they're like, yo, when it comes down to it, as far as IMAX is concerned, the new Nolan movie would make more money in IMAX than a new Spider-Man movie. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, bro, we've had 2 Nolan movies re-released just this year, and both were impossible to see in IMAX.
Yeah. And anyway, like the way Marvel movies run, like after the second week, that shit nosedives anyway in attendance. Yeah.
So,
So,
y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers better, yo. So an intern, I don't know if that was a distribution intern's fault or an executive thinking, oh, we could totally crush Nolan. Rethink that. Really rethink that. My man's made a fucking 3-hour biopic, gross, literally 10 million away from $1 billion. So rethink that.
Look, they got they're getting hyped up off of fucking Kraven the Hunter. They think they can box with God,
bro. The biggest franchise they have, at least with Marvel, outside of Spider-Man, is Venom, and we're seeing how Venom's performing. I'm just like, oh man, very much looking forward to the receipts.
Kraven's gonna be amazing. I don't give a fuck. Kraven's gonna be fucking amazing. Fuck all y'all. It's gonna be great.
Yo, Kraven comes out a movie I've already seen. It comes out the same day a movie I've already seen. It comes out the same day as Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. Comes out the same exact day.
Doesn't matter. Fucking just Kraven the Hunter, man. Like this.
Jeff, if I put a gun to your head and said, "Yo, you can only see one, and if you choose the wrong one, you get a bullet," which one would you choose?
I mean, it's never gonna be Kraven the Hunter. like, if my life ever has to depend on like seeing a movie at all, then I've made wrong choices. But especially if it boils down to like Kraven the Hunter is, if I died because of Kraven the Hunter, right? Like,
oh, you deserved it.
Yeah, it's like that's I fucked up. So I found the last David Keith movie. Came out in 2024. It's called Dead Money, and it's about a professional poker player and his girlfriend who are involved in a crazy 24 hours after a home poker game is robbed. Blah 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 blah.
That sounds wild.
Yeah. Stars Rory Culkin and Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh, so is it on Tubi?
Let's see. No,
I'm mad Freebie shutting down.
Is Freebie shutting down?
Yeah, Amazon's like, we're shutting this shit down. Y'all ain't getting this shit no more.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Now it all makes fucking sense, right? Because, a couple of months ago, I was watching all of Miami Vice, but I had to take a break, right? I was watching all that shit on Freebie, right? I go back.
It's on Tubi now.
Well, I try to go back and I try to watch because I was watching through Amazon, right? I go, and Amazon's trying to charge me $80.
Yeah.
For all of fucking Miami Vice. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You gave me that shit for free.
They shut down Freebie because they just spent $300 million on one of our main review movies. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, like looking at that movie, I could have made that shit for a fucking healthy 150.
I could have made that shit for
I could have made that for a healthy 150.
Somebody at a rival studio and a box office analyst both said the same thing. They're like, this movie should not have cost over 150 at most.
Right. Like, yeah. There's nothing in that movie.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
$300 fucking million for that.
Yo, I cannot wait to talk about The Rock's fuckery on air, bro. Because he said some shit promoting this movie, and I'm just like, man, you need to lay off some cocaine or whatever you're on, because that's fucking insane. Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, if
look,
I ever got a
look,
text message from my main actor like that, I would straight up turn to the producers and the studio head and be like, yo, just take my name off. Just please take my name off this motherfucker.
Alan Smythe me. Alan Smythe.
Yo, you know what? Take my name. Oh, some douchebag shit. I told my brother that, and he's just like, yo, that's some straight Johnny Bravo shit. And I was like, that's funny.
Because he was going to be
supposed to be Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Oh my God, bro. All right, Jeff. What have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right. So we're going to keep this kind of svelte this week, even though I got a lot of stuff to go over. I'm not going to go through all of it. So let's start with one of the fucking highlights of the week. And the reason I'm mad that I have to keep this service, Day of the Jackal.
Yo, I was gonna talk about that too. That show is fucking hard as shit.
That show is fucking amazing.
Yo, listen, I always wanted to see Day of the Jackal, like the original 1978, because the only one I can find is
the Jackal with fucking
Bruce Willis.
Bruce
and
Willis,
I've heard everybody under the sun tell me how fucking garbage that movie is.
Yeah, I saw it twice. Once in the movie theater, right? Just because it's like, oh, okay. Fucking Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis has never done me wrong. And I hated it. And then it came out on home like DVD. I was like, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as I remember it being. And it was. The best part of the Jackal, right? It's not even Day of the Jackal. The Jackal with fucking Bruce Willis is the scene where he fucking annihilates Jack Black with an automated sniper rifle.
Oh man, my man was doing some terrible pieces of shit back then, huh?
Yeah,
because he was in I guess that was the same year. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer with dreadlocks going up to Mekhi Phifer. Hey man, I got that good weed. Come on, man, I got that weed.
I think he kept the dreads from the Jackal.
Oh, really?
I think so. I can't remember it, but I remember him looking real like fucking. He looked like he looks like he stunk, right? You know, like you've seen a motherfucker like he stinks. Listens to white reggae. He definitely looks like he listened to white reggae in both movies.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, but I always wanted to see the movie, and now watching this show, I'm like, okay, I don't want to see the movie anymore
until this is done.
Well, no, I honestly, I just want to read the book. Like once this is done, I just want to read the book because I know the movie's a classic, but like I'm just like I don't even think the movie can live up to this shit because this shit's hard as fuck. Especially with the Bond opening with that jazz song. I'm like, damn, the British know how to pick a good theme song.
And we were talking about this last week, right, on the train, in the car, something like that with Jamal. Fucking, if it's British and it has to do with fucking spy shit or cop shit, I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Yo, also, Lashana Lynch, I keep saying this almost 3 times every year, is one of our most underrated fucking actresses working right now. Like, not only is she beautiful, she should be in everything. Like, every fucking thing I've seen her in, whether it's a bad biopic like Bob Marley or some action shit like this, she kills
it. And so, Day of the Jackal, the best I've ever seen Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
nigga.
Right? And like the thing about this show that is so great is you kind of like the Jackal,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
and you kind of dislike Lashana Lynch's character.
No,
right?
I'm still rooting for her. That's the thing.
I'm rooting for both of them.
Yeah,
right?
that's what makes the show hard. Is because like I kind of want her to rise up in the ranks of MI6, but I also want the Jackal to get away.
Right.
And now his wife getting on my nerves too. I'm like,
yo, her and her whole entire fucking family.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
yeah, man.
If a dude has a secret room with guns, passports, and cash. Like,
leave it. Y'all just walk out.
Close the
Be
door.
like, oh,
Door.
we're well off. We're well off.
Right,
We're being
right.
taken care of. I'm just not going to ask any questions because you know that motherfucker's a contract killer. Like, there's no questions.
He's either a contract killer or a spy.
Yeah. And it's shit that you don't need to know about because once you know about that shit, you become an asset, which is not good.
Right. You're liability, right?
Yep.
And and like he loves you, but don't put him up against his money because I think the money's gonna win.
Yo, because
the money's gonna win.
Yo, niggas tried to play him, and he just like, fuck
me.
He went back to one of the major cities. Like he escapes an assassination after an assassination attempt in one of the biggest cities in the world. Because these motherfuckers tried to fuck him over, he goes back. He goes back,
and it wasn't about the fucking money. It wasn't about
principle.
It was the principle of the thing. He was like, if I let them get away with this, it dilutes the brand. It's like, goddamn right.
Yo,
right. Goddamn right.
And I love how he did it too.
That motherfucker standing on business. Right?
Yo, after, and not only does he go back to Berlin, he destroys Berlin publicly, bro. Had the nigga in the back crying. He's just like, bro, why'd you do that to me? He just turns to him, and dude's trying to get out the car crying. He's like, ah! He's just like, no, bro, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, man?
Yo, and the fact that he got more respect from the other, right? It's like, look, like, Charles Dance was like, yo, that nigga standing on business, right? Like,
yo, because had that been me or you, we would have just sent a message, right? Just sent a message like, yo, don't fuck with us, just pay us.
Right.
And then, but nah, this motherfucker took it personally. Like, my man's gotten to one of the biggest car chases I've ever seen in a TV show and just destroyed Berlin with this motherfucker in the car.
At his dad's funeral. At his dad's motherfucking funeral.
And still shot him in the chest.
Yo. So,
how about that cop too? That cop thought he had him too.
Oh, everybody thinks they got him.
Well, because he was distracted, and I get it. Like, you're worried about your home life. He crashed, and that Italian dude was going off, and then that Italian cop thought he had him. He just like, blah, and he said to the painter, "Hey, catch!"
I'm sorry, we're giving away spoilers, but like that's
some gangster shit.
I switched between on Friday night. I switched between this and the Tyson fight, right? And I'm mad that I kept on switching back to the Tyson fight, right? I watched all 5, like, there's 5 episodes out so far, right?
And I watched them all.
I watched them all Friday night. And I was like, I don't even want to watch the 5th episode because I know I got to wait for the 6th episode. That's how good this fucking show is.
Yeah, this is I love when the BBC teams up with an American streamer, because I'm going to get into that, because the BBC teamed up with an American streamer for Normal People, because I finally watched Normal People after 4 years, and I'll get into that. But I love how the BBC just, like, they throw darts at a board, like, this show goes to Hulu, let's throw this one. Oh, this one we'll do a Peacock, and they're bangers.
Yeah. So look, the BBC, like, if I were to ever work in TV, that I want to do something on Sky Network or the BBC.
BBC,
right?
hell yeah.
Right? Like, but this is a Sky production. It's like, God damn, they spent some money too.
Yo, bro, how about the initial assassination? He shoots that nigga in the head walking into a building from fucking 2 miles.
Right?
From an improvised sniper rifle at that.
Like, we're giving away too much. We're giving away too fucking much. If you have Peacock,
also Kate Dickey, man, god damn.
Like if you have Peacock, Day of the Jackal makes it worth it to keep it at least until this series is over. Right?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Black Friday deal to drop.
Right?
Because I already got my alternate. I'm not. You know what? I'm not. I can't give away the tricks. Too many people listening.
All right. So, like, everything else I talk about from here on out is slowly, it's like the quick descent after Day of the Jackal. So I finally saw The Apprentice, the Donald Trump movie. It is great as far as biopics go because it really does show. Because I've always said this, my problems with biopics are they always try to paint the protagonist or the star, whatever the subject, in a better light, right? And this one gives no fucks, right? It treats him exactly like who he is. And you know, watching this and seeing the election, it's like, yeah, it all fucking makes sense. Like everything he has done is straight out of Art of the Deal, which is straight out of the Rob Cohen playbook. So if you get a chance, watch The Apprentice and get angry that this is the man leading the quote unquote free world. But because I was on a masochistic kick after watching The Apprentice, I decided to watch a documentary on HBO Max about the man who created Donald Trump, Rob Cohen. Roy Cohen. Rob Cohen's a piece of shit too. But Roy Cohen. I got him again. He's about to choke. Got him again. Roy Cohen, who was Donald Trump's mentor. He was involved in the in a lot of history's greatest witch trials in the modern 20th century. And he's a piece of shit. He's a horrible person. And who died of AIDS, all the while denying that he was dying of AIDS. So The Apprentice and Bully, Coward, Victim, the story of Roy Cohen. If you want to be angry at the world, watch those two as a double feature. Moving on from that, on Amazon, I saw Brothers, the movie starring Peter Dinklage and Thanos. It's fine, right? It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's a family comedy caper type thing about two fuck up criminals who are on a mission. They're brothers, yada yada yada. It is light. It is airy. It's kind of funny, right? This is definitely a Sunday afternoon hangover movie, right? It's something that you put on after you've been partying all weekend, right? You want to watch something, but you don't want to have to care about it. That's Brothers. That's the definition of that fucking movie. I've already forgotten most of what happened in it, so there you go. Moving on from that, I'm gonna end with this one, just because so we can keep it moving. I watched a movie called Let's Start a Cult. Right? It is about a fuck up loser asshole who joins a suicide cult, but he's such an asshole that they all decide to kill themselves without him because they don't want to go into the afterlife with him. And then he decides to start his own cult. Right? It's got big fucking South or North Carolina vibes. When I say that, like the stuff that Danny McBride was doing with the Foot Fist Way and all those movies before he blew up, right? About these fuck ups with big egos and hubris who force their way through life, trying to trying to be more than who they are, right? The movie in of itself, if I had seen this 2 months ago, I would have thought it was okay. I would have thought it was like an okay to pretty good movie, right? But after this election, it does not hit the same way, right? I can't watch movies about mediocre white men with inflated senses of self-worth failing upwards anymore, right? Like I can't do that anymore, right? So I'm watching this, and like, and this kind of theme plays into Wicked too. I can't watch mediocre people trying to convince me that they're not mediocre, right? And just fucking, no matter what the world shows them, what like logic dictates, they're still fucking assholes and they still think they're the best. It does not hit the fucking same. That be it, right? I'm trying to take myself out of it. It's an okay movie. It's a pretty okay movie. It's another, if you have a double feature on your Sunday hangover day, you could do worse than Let's Start a Cult. It's just like I can't, like it, and like I wanted to laugh at it. I was looking at it and I was like, I would have found this funny 2 months ago. I would have found this humorous, and like now it's just fucking like infuriating. So this movie is a victim of timing. It honestly is. Yeah. So can I suggest Let's Start a Cult? Yeah, fine. You might enjoy it. You might have a good time, but like it was a little too triggering for me.
I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for my what have I been watching. What have you been watching, man? Oh wait. Do we wait for our doubles?
You know what? Let's hold it off to the end, so that way I could just run through this real quick.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I want to run through Law and Order real quick. This week's episode sucked. No, that's all I gotta say. Like this is the first bad episode of the. Yeah, man. Look, we running through shit.
Yeah.
SNL CARLI XCX as host and musical guest. Look, strongest episode of the season, but still lacking. Like I don't know what's going on. I will say the 2 songs she performed is the first time I've heard anything off of Brat, and I was just like, okay,
yeah,
this is for girls and gay people, not for me.
Yeah, no, like she says it, like in her opening monologue. That's who it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like I don't know if this is the strongest, but like it at least is not the weakest of the season. But I will say, and I hate myself for saying this, we need to bring Andy Samberg back.
Yeah, because the best, again, Lonely Island, another Lonely Island music video with him calling the cops, and it's funny
on white people, like that.
And it's like, funny because it's true, because white people will call the cops on anybody. They don't give a fuck, bro. You could be fucking Jeff Bezos, and if Jeff Bezos came and stepped on your lawn, they'll call the police.
Yeah.
Moving on, I want to talk about Swan Lake and IMAX. I saw this on Saturday. Nothing but Russian women in the theater. Very distressing for a number of reasons.
I mean, look, Russians love ballet.
No, post-election, it's distressing for a number of reasons, bro.
Yeah,
because I'm like, why in the middle of these Pennsylvanian suburbs? Because we live in Jersey and we drive over to the Pennsylvanian suburbs to see stuff on IMAX. And why in these Pennsylvania suburbs is there a heavy Russian presence in one of the swing counties? Because Bucks County is a huge swing county. I'm like,
Oh yeah, 100%. Like they're either Ukrainian expats or Russians, and that's not being racist. That's demographic, right?
No,
that's numbers.
I think they were put there, bro.
I mean, I don't know if they were. I
They're
know.
plants.
I know they actually live there. But whether or not they have fucking list devices that connect them to the KGB home office, I can't say.
I
But
think they were planted there by Putin, bro.
I mean, yeah. Look, the Americans, dude. They based the whole time fucking show off that shit.
It ain't even like, I don't even think they were there just to spy. I think a lot of them were there to vote.
I mean, like, because you can't. I mean, maybe I don't know. Like every time I say, "Oh, that can't happen," like
It happens.
it happens.
It happens.
It's like nothing's out of the realm of impossibility. So yeah, it's possible. But anyway, a whole bunch of Russian bitches.
I'm gonna be real with you. I had no idea what the fuck was going on the entire time, but it's cool. It was cool seeing this on IMAX. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't realize how much music was from Swan Lake that I've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to read a plot synopsis because I was like, yo, this is all really cool. I just don't have no fucking clue what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
My first time seeing a ballet, so, you know, why not see a ballet in full, in IMAX glory?
Yeah, I mean, like the last time I saw a ballet, I was 14. So
Yeah. See? Yeah. Look, I was comfortable. I was smacked. Had the peanut butter shutter in my hand. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't too mad.
right,
You know, the music was cool. 2.5 hours, and I like the entire 2.5 hours. I was just like, no idea what's going on.
right, but it's fun to look at. It's pretty.
Yeah. Let's move right into, since you talked about the Jackal already, I'm gonna roll right into movies, and I guess this TV show will be part of movies because it is technically a long movie. But let's start with The Invitation because that was on Hulu. Not the good Invitation, the one by that had Logan Marshall Green, not that one.
Okay.
We're talking about the one with Natalie Emmanuel, the Dracula ripoff that came out in 2002, in August 2002, and everybody's like, no, thank you, and it came and went, and it lived on Netflix for like the past 2 years, and now it finally hit Hulu.
Oh yeah, that's been on my list, right? Because yeah, I mean, just because the trailer looked kind of interesting.
Nah, even the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks rough. And I was right. This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, okay.
It fucking sucks. It is rough.
All right.
Like,
all
damn.
right, fair.
Natalie Emmanuel, like, you making some choices post Game of Thrones where I'm just like, but why? Like, the only but why choice I understand is Megalopolis, just because, you know.
It's Coppola.
It's Coppola, right. And Megalopolis, I'll be talking about that movie till I die for a number of different reasons, both good and bad.
I just got a copy of it. I'm watching that this week. That's gonna come. That's this weekend.
So there you go. The Invitation. Yikes. Moving on. Rewatched Seed of the Sacred Fig. Because I got a screener of it. Watched it with my brother. And my brother, he was sitting there watching it, and like I looked over at him once the third act got intention, and my man's eyes just bugged out. I was like, "Yeah, nigga, told you." Yeah, post election, this movie hits kind of different. Saw a preview for this before I saw Conclave again, and there's a group of old women in there who are clearly that like that's what they do. You know, Monday, Tuesday they go to the movies and see the new movie. They showed the preview for this before Conclave, and the women just go, "Oh, we should see this." But mind you, these are old white women. They go, "Oh, we should go see this to see what this country will be like in 2 years." I was like, "Oh shit, oh shit!" I was like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." All right, and I went to a screening for a couple of movies that you normally save this for the main review, but I'm going to do it now because they're minor. Saw a documentary about photographer Ernest Cole called Ernest Cole Lost and Found. Ernest Cole's known for photographing South Africa during the height of the apartheid. He was kicked out of his own country and just lived as an exile in New York City, and he became homeless. All of his work got lost, but this documentary is about how, still not very explained because nobody nobody in Switzerland wants to come forward and say how they ended up there. But all of these unseen prints, there's like over 500 prints, were in a bank vault in Switzerland. They were there for 40 years, and nobody in Switzerland wants to come forward and to say like how they ended up there. The family still has to fight for 500 of the prints because the Swiss bank won't let go of these prints. Yeah, man. Yeah. This is a very good documentary. Like, very good. I didn't even know who Ernest Cole was before this documentary, but like now, like I want to try and buy that book that he published before he died because he takes some really good photos. But yeah, go ahead.
No. Like one of my favorite things, like my library is mostly fucking comic books and photo books. Like photo essay books, and Ernest Cole is like one of the ones I've been wanting to add to my collection, along with like Jamal Shabazz and those guys.
Like the one I want to get a Ernest Dickerson photo book because going to his gallery in DC, like I always loved him as a photographer, more so a director.
Right.
Because that's how I knew him first, but then I've discovered his photography shit. But going to his art gallery while I was in my trip in DC, I was like, yeah, man, I gotta get a photo book of his if it's out there. Also, gotta pick up Shaft because Criterions are 60% off till Thanksgiving at Barnes and Noble.
Oh shit!
So I'm trying to pick up that Shaft 4K from Criterion. One of the best movies ever made. I don't anybody else says that. Anybody who disagrees is because they white. All right. I can't recommend this documentary enough, though. I really, really liked it. Ernest Cole, Lost and Found. Moving on to a foreign film from India that everybody recommended to me. They're like, Brandon, premiered at Con, and everybody out of Con was like, Brandon, you got to see this movie. It's amazing. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right. And y'all were right about Seed of the Sacred Fig, but y'all were wrong about this one. It's called All We Imagine Is Light. It's fine. It reminds me of like a Kiarostami movie where it's just following people, like ordinary people doing ordinary things for 2 hours. This particularly is All We Imagine Is Light. It follows two roommates, one older, one younger, because in Mumbai, in order to live there, you have to have a roommate, and normally, like you just take who you can get. So this is a woman in her 40s and a woman in her 20s, and they're both dealing with their professional and personal lives.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds on paper, it sounds like it would be interesting. But that definitely seems like a movie you have to really be in the mood for.
Yeah, bro. And I will say this: if I did not go to this screening and I just waited for the screener, either A, I would have fell asleep, or B, I would have been on my phone the entire time while this just played in the background.
Fair. It's fair.
I'm gonna say this: acting's good, the directing is great, and the cinematography is amazing in this motherfucker. But like, I don't have any plans to revisit this. Like, I normally like to give things, 2 chances, because that's my way I judge a movie. Is like, yo, let me see it again. And for this, I'm just like, I have no. It's not a bad movie. It's just not for me. I don't want to sit through this again. I'm sorry. Yeah. In my 20s, I probably would have loved this if I was still in my 20s, because this is the type of movie I loved in my 20s. But like now that I'm older, I'm just like, you know what, man? I'm at the point where everybody else is just like, yo, I just want to be entertained, nigga. Like, I get it. Like, I don't mind slow cinema, and I don't mind like realism, and like obviously because I love Seed of the Sacred Fig, but like,
like that's a real statement, because a couple of weeks ago I went back to rewatch a movie that I loved in my 20s, Cashback. All right. It was a British film. It came out in like the early 2000s, and I thought this was the height of fucking cinema when it came out. I watched it a couple of months ago, and I'm like, this is boring. This is style over substance, and the style isn't even that stylish.
Don't come at me, Kiarostami fans. I can't watch his movies anymore either, just because like great movies. I loved them in my 20s, but
Right.
a lot of half his movies are in the Criterion collection, and rightfully so, because they're amazing movies. But I just don't have the patience for that shit anymore. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like, I know y'all are gonna be like, oh, you guys got you have a small brain and yada yada yada. You only like mainstream movies. It's just like, no, man. It's just like art. Look, I love art films when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's just like, bro, like between working all the time and dealing with adult things now, I'm just like, man.
Tell me a story.
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the only slow cinema I love still that I could watch anytime, and you just put it on, I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. Where it's just a slice of life is the Apu trilogy. Because that trilogy is some of the best film. Those are the best 3 films ever made.
I've never even seen them.
Yeah. The first movie is considered a masterpiece. It's called Panther Panchali. Follows this little. It follows so the Apu trilogy follows Apu at 3 points in his life, as a young poor kid, as a poor teenager, and as a poor adult.
Yeah, I mean, I love the concept, but that just sounds depressing and dour and something that.
But it is. I mean, you watch this little nigga suffer, but at the end of each one, you're like, damn, this ends on a very hopeful note. God damn, and it makes you cry. And I'm just like, yeah, these shit's greatest movies ever made.
All right, I'm gonna check out
like
the
nigga lives in the first movie. Him and his family, they're so poor. They live in a temple, bro. It's like half in ruins.
I mean, I'll check it out. Criterion. Maybe I'll pick some up during the sale.
And the last thing I'm going to talk about, because I'll save Conclave for the main review, and then we'll get into what me and Jeff watched together as far as TV. I want to talk about 2020's Normal People. When this came out, lockdown just happened, and I was just like, that year, I just remember being like focusing on my workouts, focusing on my fasting, and not watching like anything serious. Like I remember like people were like, have you seen this? Like emailing me and texting me, have you seen this? I'm just like, no, because I want to see this in a theater, and I'm probably never going to. Like Sound of Metal, I still haven't seen. I've only seen like the first 15 minutes. And it's just because I remember before lockdown happened, that played in some festivals, and they're just like, yo, you guys have to see this in a Dolby Atmos equipped theater. And then they sold it to Amazon, and Amazon doesn't give a fuck. And they just put it out anyway during the pandemic. And I just never got around to seeing it, because I do want to still see it in the theater, even though I should probably also buy that Criterion disc, because I know the movie's great. I've seen the first 15 minutes. Like, I didn't want to watch shit like this, man. Like, but I gotta say, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. You could call this is basically a movie, and it's a movie split into 12 28-minute episodes is what I look at it as. I can see why Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar Jones popped off of this. Was not expecting them to be naked. Like, both of them are fucking dummy naked. I was like, damn, Paul Mescal out here with his dick out. Daisy Edgar Jones just out here full frontal. I'm like, damn, bro. And Daisy Edgar Jones, she gets pounded out. I'm like, Jesus Christ. This is one of the few things where I watch and I'm like, damn, dog. Like, I'm jealous. Like, I'm jealous I didn't get to direct an episode of this. This is one of the most romantic and heartbreaking things I've ever seen. Sometimes at the same time. You really do fall in love with both of these characters. I'm mad at myself for not getting to this sooner, but also, like, this is a show where you know these two people in real life, like, you know, and if you don't, it's because you identify with these two people because you've been through shit like this, or you're going through the shit they're going through. There's parts of this where I just wanted to yell at them like, yo, y'all two figure this shit out, bro. Like, y'all clearly love each other. Y'all clearly better people when y'all are together. Figure your shit out. this is like, yo, this is great. It's I don't want to give away the ending, but the way it ends, I really wish they were. It's based off a novel, so it's a mini series. But like, give it a second season. Bring the author back and have her write some new material. Like, I know it ends in a hopeful place, but like, let's see them. Let's see. I want to see more of Marianne and Connell.
Okay, I'll check it out. Sure.
Production of Hulu and BBC, so it's on Hulu. It's a great ass show, bro. I can't believe I watched it that quickly. 12 episodes, 28 minutes a pop, and they go through some shit, bro. Like there's I'm just like, yo, both of y'all. I was like, Jesus Christ, y'all going through some real major shit. All right, and let's do our handoff. So like, what do you want to start with? Dune or Penguin?
Let's start with Penguin.
Before we get started on the actual episode, I just want to give a shout out to Gotham Burger Social Club. Before the show premiered, they had a burger called Let's Be Pals. And it was a special team up they did with the Penguin. One of the best burgers I've ever had.
What was on it?
So it was their smash patty, their signature smash patty. You get 2 of them. You get mozzarella cheese. You get fried onions and bacon bourbon jam.
Okay. All right. Sounds delicious.
Oh, it
sounds
was
delicious.
It was, nigga. I just kept forgetting to talk about it, but yeah, that shit. Yo, listen, Gotham. If you're in New York City, Gotham Social Burger Club is the best burger in the city.
What part of the city is it in?
They got 2 locations. One in Greenpoint, which is in Brooklyn, and Greenpoint and Williamsburg are 2 of the biggest hot spots for hipsters and gentrifiers. Also, pain in the ass to get to. I'll be real with you. Both of those spots are pain in the ass to get to. That's why I hate when my favorite artist is like, yeah, I'm performing at the Music Hall of Williamsburg. I'm like, fuck, man, why I gotta go to fucking Williamsburg? Or Rough Trade. Like, I love Rough Trade. It's a great music venue, great record store. The music venue is tiny. But I saw Freddie Gibbs there, and even there, I was like, fuck, man, we gotta fucking... Right after we saw Freddie Gibbs, bro, me and my boy, we chilled on the block for a little bit, and then we got in the car, and on the ride home, I pull up an article that says, shooting outside a Rough Trade at Freddie Gibbs show. I was like, dude, we were just there. I ain't hear shit. I was like, oh. And there's pictures and videos. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn. My boy was like, yo, good thing we decided to leave when we did, huh? I just remember one thing I remember about the Freddie, before we get back to it, the one thing I remember about the Freddie Gibbs show, there's this super white, super hipster chick there. Remember those large glasses like the grandmas would wear that they brought back? Yeah, she was wearing those. She was a redhead, but she was thick, like everywhere. And I just remember her just grinding as Freddie Gibbs is on stage, just going, rob me a nigga, rob me a nigga, rob me a nigga, rob me a nigga, rob me. And she's just up, just grinding by herself. She was there by herself, just grinding. Because there's the floor where you can stand, and then up top, and I was up top in the balcony, and I just looked over to the other section of the balcony, and she's just by herself grinding. I'm like, dog, this is wild. That's fucking wild. That's
Brooklyn, man. That's fucking.
As Freddie Gibbs is on stage, rob me a nigga, rob me a nigga.
Look, I whenever I think I'm cool, I go to Brooklyn, and I'm reminded that I ain't shit. Right, I'm Manhattan cool. I'm not Brooklyn cool.
Yeah, at this point in time, I would take Manhattan cool over Brooklyn cool. Yo, I just can't. I can't do that shit.
I can't. Fuck right?
Yeah, I fuck you. Yeah. All right. Anyways, this final episode of the Penguin, I was just like, bro, Oz has to fucking die. Like, he has to die. Like, more than Tony Soprano, more than Walter White, this guy is a despicable, evil piece of shit. Where I was just like, whoa. Like, the only character I've hated more than him is Marlo Stanford from The Wire.
No, like, I don't even hate Marlo, right?
Nah, Marlo's a piece of shit.
Marlo was he was a sociopath, but he was a businessman. Fucking every time. And I love this about this show, right? every time you begin to have a little sympathy for Oswald Cobb, right? The show reminds you that he is a villain in Batman's rogues gallery. Like, he is such a bad dude. He is one of the top Batman villains, right? And this show, and particularly this episode, proves it 100%.
Yeah, bro. Like, yo, like he did so much in this, and I like, yo, honestly, I was just hoping Sophia could get shot. What he does to Sophia,
It's
I was
worse.
just like,
It's
I was just
worse.
like, Jesus Christ, bro. Really?
Like, spoiler alert. Like, I mean, if you haven't watched it, it's fine. But like, whatever. But like, just put that out there, because we're gonna spoil this for you. I mean, we can't not talk about it.
Because we got to talk about the biggest moment of the episode.
Yeah.
Which that shit, everybody for 2 days was like, yo, fuck Oz. And it's just like, yeah, fuck you, bro.
Right, but like, here's the thing: we knew it was coming.
I didn't.
From episode 1.
I didn't. I thought homie was gonna be around for a minute.
As soon as little fucking homie said, "We're like family," I knew like that was the wrong fucking thing to say, man. Because you don't know what he did to his real fucking family.
Yeah, bro. Like, no, that motherfucker has no loyalty to anybody except himself.
Right. And his mother, but like, that's almost fucking pathological right there. Right.
And you know what? I thought his mom was a piece of shit. But you know what? Her anger is also justified.
100%.
To the point where even Sophia's like, bro, you're disgusting. Like, you're going to straight up let your mom get her finger chopped off. Like, you just, like, and we're all sitting there like, yeah, nigga,
like, just fucking say the truth. Just tell her the truth.
Damn, like, yo. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sophia ends up back in Arkham. Like, instead of killing her, he just sends her back to Arkham for him to have political clout and use this nigga later. He has this now over a senator's head.
Right. He sets her up to like be all the shit that he did is on her.
But the bombing specifically.
Right. The bombing.
That was her. And the bombing specifically is what was just like, everybody's like, bro, what the fuck? So once I was just like, well, yeah, you did blow up like innocent people. So like the fact that she got sent back to Arkham and it's mostly because of that, I'm like, well, she did do that shit, but she also, that's fucked up.
Right. So like she goes back to Arkham, but fucking Victor.
Yeah, man, just fucking kill him. Just fucking cut off his nose path so he couldn't breathe.
Right. So like they've won, right? Like, and Victor has been this dude's ride or die since episode 1.
He would be dead without Victor.
Right?
Twice.
Like, yeah. And so, and like, if like, no one's really riding for the Penguin except for Victor. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Because like Victor, like he gave Victor a purpose and a sense of like just self. And they're sitting on a park bench talking about like plans and stuff like that. And Victor goes, yeah, it's just you and me, man. We're like, you and me, Oz, we're like family. Right? And you could see the look in Oz's face change. Right? Because family means weakness to the Penguin. Right? And so he killed his own brothers, right? He put his mom, like his mom's in a coma. Instead of letting her die, right? He just got her secluded, but like in a medically induced coma.
And she even said, like, "Yo, if I become a vegetable, please kill me." Yeah.
So
and he could never get that validation he wants. Now that's the truth. I was just like, you know what? You deserve it, though. You deserve it.
Right. Like, that's that. Like, this is almost tantamount to the end of The Shield, where Vic Mackey is sitting at the desk and he hears the sirens on the street, right? He'll never be able. He's an FBI agent, but he'll never be like a real FBI agent.
But I mean,
right?
the last shot is him opening up his desk, grabbing his
Right.
gun, and walking out.
Yeah, but like still like he did all this to get in the FBI, and he's like he's not gonna be fucking a stormtrooper FBI agent. Like he's
Well,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
From what we know, because that,
Yeah.
like I said, that last shot of him walking out on the streets with his gun, I'm like, oh well, this nigga's still gonna use the shield to hide behind.
Right. But like but there's that whole entire fucking Pyrrhic victory type shit.
Right.
But yeah, like and I
To
guess
have her dress up as his mom, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like Carmen Agogo's character, who's like his mistress /
Right.
like I don't know. He still pays her, which is wild. But like, yo, to have her dress up as his mom.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even put 1 and 2 together. Oh,
That's why he said, yo, tell me I did a good job, ma.
Oh,
and she's like, you did a good job.
Oh, so shit. Oh,
Yeah,
goddamn.
shit. It's sick.
It fucking gets deeper.
It's sick.
This is one of the best shows that's come out this year.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, hands down.
And possibly the best. I mean, not possibly. It is the best comic book show ever.
I think it might be a tad, not by much, but it's a tad bit better than the Batman itself.
I didn't want to say it.
Like, I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say it, but it is. Right? It is. It is only because it had more time to tell the story.
Well, not only that, but it's just so fucking. This is a well done,
so nuanced.
This is a well done crime story. Like, it really is Sopranos level. Like, I thought Sopranos level crime shit was done,
right?
And this one came out and it's like, oh well, we got one more Sopranos-esque crime level show in us.
I mean, it's better, much better than This is the Sopranos movie that we were all wanted. Instead of getting that mini Saints of Newark shit.
Yeah.
Right? This is that.
Yeah.
Oh,
boy.
But that last episode.
I love that final shot though.
Yep.
Because while he's dancing in the tower, the bat signal's on, and I'm like, well, yeah, nigga, you made it to the top of the heap. Now you're on Batman's radar.
Right.
So was it worth it?
And so here's the thing. Everyone kept on complaining about like, oh man, I want Batman in this, blah blah blah. Where's Batman?
I'm glad he wasn't.
I didn't need Batman.
Yeah, man.
I didn't need like I got all the Batman I wanted in that last shot. That's all the Batman I needed.
Also, in the movie, he straight up says, "I can't be everywhere at once."
Right.
And this is coming right after
this is
the
2
Riddler.
weeks. This is like 2 weeks.
1 week. Takes.
Everything.
Okay, so by the end of the show, it's been 2 weeks since the events of the movie. He literally is still trying to save people who drowned because the Riddler did so much damage that I guarantee you, crime across the city is not only rampant, but they're still trying to pull people out of wreckages.
Right.
Like, of course, he's gonna put crime family wars to the side and save innocent people first.
Right, because like honestly, like those motherfuckers will take care of themselves.
Yeah,
right.
It did.
Yeah,
it sorted itself out.
Yeah,
at a cost, but I mean, at the same time, if I'm Batman, I'm just like, bro, I gotta make sure these people are okay. Fuck these people killing each other. Like,
it's like these bad guys killing each other. Right, like okay. Well, I'll get that's second level.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. By the way, Colin Farrell straight up said he's only going to be in 5 or 6 scenes in the Batman part 2. And Matt Reeves straight up said like he's literally going to be the secondary main villain in the Batman part 3. So we so the Joker is going to be the main villain in part 3 and he's going to be the secondary main villain, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Look, I trust this creative team. Right?
And I think he's only going to be in 5 or 6 episodes of Batman part 2 because like we just said, like this nigga has so much to do now.
And let's give a shout out to the creative team the showrunner of this,
Lauren LaFranc.
Lauren LaFranc. Yeah, she did the thing. And so for all of you fanboys out there who say women can't do comedy, women can't do action, women can't do these comic book properties, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, man.
Go fuck yourself. All right?
I'm interested to see if how Sophia is going to be utilized in Batman Part 2, or they might hold that off till 3 as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm interested to know.
I'm interested to know, but I don't want to speculate because I want to come in fucking fresh and clean.
And good for Kristen Milotti for finally popping off this shit, because she's
Right?
been working for a minute and has been great for a minute. So
Right.
it should not have taken the Penguin for her to finally pop. But I mean, I'm glad she did.
And with Kristen Milotti on this, I feel the same way, and we'll get into this in the main review with Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, right? So they've both been known before, but this year they're both gonna pop.
Yeah. So with that, let's get into Dune Prophecy. I was afraid this was gonna happen just because this show has changed hands so many times. Like this show has been in development right as the first one came out. This show went into development, and John Spadis, if you don't know who he is, noted Hollywood screenwriter, worked on Dune Part 1 and Part 2. He was originally the showrunner, and Denis was originally supposed to direct the first 4 episodes of this.
And then it went to Johan Rennick.
Yep.
And then Johan left.
Yep. And the showrunner went to Diane Amadou. She's a black woman showrunner. She's still credited as writer and executive producer, but she also left the show.
Yeah.
She was also like, yeah, I'm good. And she locked her Twitter account. Like, I haven't seen her. I follow her on Twitter.
Right.
She's locked it, and she hasn't really posted much of anything lately.
Yeah, and I get it, right? Because this is such a monumental show to take on, and also you're living in the shadow of Game of Thrones
and the movies, man, because the movies the movies are from one of our greatest artistic filmmakers working today. Like, he finally entered the blockbuster arena and is now so beloved that I think anything he wants to make, it'll probably get made.
Yeah, like it's like blank check, right? Or at least rubber stamped.
Yeah, so Denis is a singular vision, and they needed somebody who clearly studied his style to make this show, to make it fit more stylistically in line, because this does not feel or look like anything from the movie. Like, the only thing that looks like it's from the movie is the fucking sandworms.
And honestly, I personally didn't need it to be stylistically in lockstep, because it's 10,000 years in the past.
But they did it with the Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but like, I did need,
and the Penguin,
like some sort of thematic coherence, right? And the thing they did with Dune Prophecy is the thing that I fucking hated with House of the Dragon, is they tried to truncate all of this lore and all of this backstory
into one episode.
Like, the time jumps, right?
Like, the first 20 minutes should have been, if not 2 episodes, at least one singular episode.
Right.
But really should have been 2 episodes. Like, maybe showing as they call it, the Butlerian Jihad, where the humans revolt against AI, and that's why we have what they're called in you see them in the first movie, Mentats. Right. They're played by Stephen McKinley Henderson and David Dasmalchian. They're human computers because of what they show us in the first 15 minutes, or the first 5 minutes, 5 minutes of this show. They should have did a whole episode just dedicated to that conflict. And then second episode, this is why we have Mentats. This is why the sisterhood rose up. And the first we could have had a whole episode with young Valia, right? And then we can
Mhm.
introduce Emily Watson in episode 3.
Yeah.
And instead, we like
everything in the first we go for they go over 130 years in a half hour.
Yeah, and it is. You can't even take it all in.
Right. Like I've got to go back and rewatch this just to get all of the lore.
Yes,
all of the framework.
Yes. And I'm glad. The one thing I'm happy about this show is Emily Watson, because it's been too long since we've seen her in anything. And I'm always down for Mark Strong. Like, shout out to Mark. Mark Strong was just in The Penguin. So,
Right.
I'm always down to watch Mark Strong. But, Travis Fimmel, I was just like, this dude's playing another scumbag, old-timey scumbag again. Like, how many times are you going to do this shit? The political scheming is straight from Game of Thrones. I'm just like, yo, this shit.
It's Game of Thrones with lasers.
Yeah, it looks and feel more in line with Game of Thrones than it does with Dune. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I want it thematically to be more Dune and less whatever
don't get me
it is.
wrong, there's political intrigue in Dune, but it never felt like Game of Thrones. When you watch those movies, you're just like, oh, this is just some very subtle political maneuvering going on. This shit here, it is just like half the episode is dedicated to people in rooms being like, so we got to make sure this goes through. Like these two got to get married. And I'm just like, oh, bro, this is I don't want to watch this again, man.
And the obvious glances, right?
Yeah,
this whole entire episode is obvious glances, right? Like the walk out of the room and the look back with the suspicious eyes. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Awesome.
I'm fucking. I don't know. This is 6-episode season. The creators recently said they hope this does well because they have plans for for up to 5 or 6 seasons. They don't know yet, but they said no more than 6, but probably 5. And I'm just like, I don't know, man, because this first episode, I'm not impressed, and I'll watch it because it's, like I said, only 6 episodes. Only 6, which is also a red flag for me because I'm like, well, maybe y'all needed 8.
Right. And it's I don't hate it. It's absolutely fine. I had a feeling it was not going to be good
because it switched hands so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Like you switched hands way too many times.
If you had to try this hard,
yeah,
it probably wasn't worth it.
And you know what? As soon as it started last night, I was like, this should have came out next year because we just got part 2 this year. We probably should have took a little break. Because the Penguin, I just realized the Penguin came out 2 years after the Batman. And now the Batman Part 2 is still another 2 years away.
Look, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping it's going to get better.
Yeah, me too. Because I don't. All it takes is one thing to sink a franchise. And I really don't want Dune to sink as a franchise.
Yeah. So, there you go. that's Dune Prophecy. Talk to us by episode 3 and see how we feel.
Also, forgot to say, good to see Olivia Williams as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the acting's not bad. Like everything is there, except for it just feels like it's unnecessary.
It's been there, done that.
Yeah. It's
and on again, I understand it's a TV show, but stylistically, I'm just like, yo, this looks like. What's that show that was on HBO Max that got canceled?
Yo, I felt the same fucking way.
It looks like Raised by Wolves more than it does Dune.
I mean, it also doesn't help that the star of Raised by Wolves is also in this, right? Like, this is just
like there's parts of it where I'm like, this looks like Game of Thrones. Like parts of it, I'm like, this looks exactly, and then for the rest of it, I'm just like, this just looks like fucking Raised by Wolves.
Right.
Because
I love Raised by Wolves.
Right. And I'm not saying Raised by Wolves is a bad looking show because it's not, but like, damn, bro, like even Foundation has better production value than this does.
Yeah,
which is fucking wild again because this is Dune, and like, let's be real, Jeff. Dune Part 2 is going to be nominated like for a lot,
all the awards. Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
like to me, that's still my number one movie of the year. Like,
that's fair.
And it's just like, that's the one thing. Again, the Penguin, at least they had some stylistic continuity between the movie and the show, because you're like, okay, yeah, this is stylistically and tone wise feels like it's a continuation from the Batman.
Yeah. And here's and I think the other thing is, you didn't need to have watched the Batman to enjoy
understand the Penguin,
right? I feel that you have to have had watched Dune Part 1 and 2 to at least see where this is going, because they make mention of him like Paul Atreides is like 10,000 years before Paul Atreides. So if you have no idea who fucking Paul Atreides is, that means you got to do some research. I
had to Google this shit, because as I was watching it, I had to pause it right after the AI shit was like just glossed over. I was like, wait. It's a lot going on that y'all just shoved in these 3 minutes. So I paused it and I looked it up. I was like, oh, so this was called the Butlerhan Jihad because AI rose up and revolted against humans, and then AI's banned. And I started reading this. I was like, okay, so these first 5 minutes now make sense because I went on fucking Wikipedia.
Shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to do that. Yeah.
Again, that conflict should have been the first fucking episode.
Yeah.
Like sometimes some stories take a long time to set up, and when it's this intricate with this many moving parts,
I mean, the first episode should have been honestly 2 hours.
Yeah, or 2 separate episodes,
right?
Or maybe 3, right? The Butler and Jihad's 1 episode. Episode 2 is Young Valia, because Young Valia, I was just like, that is a lot to do before we even get to her as an adult. Like, we should probably seen this play out and have like a little more internal conflict with her character.
And also like, so like she's been practicing how
the
to
voice.
Voice,
she's the one who invented the voice. Like, we should have really
just glossed over that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, holy shit. I was just like, bro, that could have been half an episode.
Yeah.
And then episode 3 should have just been the rest of what this was.
But yeah, like look, we're gonna watch it, but not starting off good.
You'll have our full thoughts by Christmas, because this will be done by Christmas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah. Y'all diluted the brand. Congratulations. Y'all diluted the brand.
You WB'd it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our main review.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right. Sorry about that. I forgot there's a big trailer to talk about. Very big. Mission Impossible. Or excuse me, let me do this. Mission : Impossible - The Final Reckoning. At that point with that title, I'm just call it Dead Reckoning Part 2 then.
Right. Like,
this will only be the final one if it underperforms, which I don't think it's going to, because it's not coming out against 2 juggernauts.
Right.
That's where y'all fucked up.
And I'm sure they learned their mistakes from Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I will say this will be the last one if you fucking kill off Luther Stickle, because if y'all kill off Luther Stickle, then yeah, I'm as far as I'm concerned, Fallout was the final one.
Right. So like in this one, it's obvious like Luther Stickle is infected with some sort of virus or something, and he's going to die slow or something like that. That being said, besides that, it looks amazing, right? It looks like
him hanging off a plane. I'm like, yo, we did that shit already. Like, you did that shit in 5.
Right, but he's not hanging off a biplane in the 5, right? Like, he's just gonna fly. He's gonna hang off of every.
It's at a. Let me say this. The biplane is at a lower altitude than it was in 5. 5, that motherfucker was in the air.
But this looks like another globe trotter Like it looks like everything. You said this the other day. It looks like a Mission Impossible movie. It looks like everything that I want from a Mission Impossible movie, but Dead Reckoning Part 1 left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm looking at this one as like that. It's not going to be nearly as cool as it looks in this fucking trailer.
And you know what? In your review, because I remember this strictly from your review, where you're like, because I remember we're just like, oh, he can't have more than two women on the team, and
Right.
you're like, watch Palm Clementif becomes part of the team, and you also are like, I bet you Greg Tarzan Davis becomes part of the team too, and in the trailer, there it is. They're both on the team. I was like, oh, so this is the first time we're gonna have two women on the team at once.
Yeah.
And I guess Greg Tarzan's gonna be taken over from Luther.
Because it's a black guy.
Yeah. Shea Wiggum nowhere to be found in this fucking.
Right? In
I was
trailer.
like, that's very weird considering how much he was in part 1. And he was literally Greg Tarzan Davis's partner. So, what?
I hope they wrap that up.
Angela Bassett's back.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love Angela Bassett. I'm mad that we got rid of fucking what's his fucking face?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, right? But
they definitely fucked up by killing off Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Right? Like
because this would have been much better if instead of we having Esai Morales, no offense to you, dude, if that was just August Walker coming back for revenge.
Right. But it's still, if you can't remember the first part, it's all about AI. So the second part, it's got to be all about AI.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a new mask. Looks like an upgraded mask at one point in the trailer. Because at the end of the first one, Esai Morales is just for some reason in an AI coffin wearing an AI mask.
Sure, I don't even remember that. I have seen this movie absolutely once. Right?
Yeah, Esai Morales will forever now be known as, at least in these movies, as Knives McGee. Elsa had a sword, killed Elsa with a knife. This nigga in the climax of the movie just keep reaching into his coat, pulling out
more knives. It's like you always they always say never bring a knife to a gunfight. Eli Morales was like, fuck that, bring all the knives.
Niggas shop that Knives R Us.
Shit. That whole entire suit he's wearing, it's a knife.
Yeah,
it's just one. Yeah. But yeah, it looks good. But
apparently Tom Cruise wants to do this till he's 80 because he's like, Harrison Ford played Indiana Jones till he's 80.
It wasn't good. So that's the thing.
Yeah. So I also he's saying if he's forced off of this by the studio, then he wants to hand it over to Glenn Powell, and Glenn Powell's like, fuck no, I'm not doing that shit. He's just like, bro, I see the shit Tom Cruise has to do, and he's like, first off, I can't live up to that, and he's like, second of all, not only is that shit dangerous, but my mom would never let me do that shit. He's like, they're like, your mom? You still listen to your mom? He's like, fuck yeah, I still listen to my mom.
Yeah. If we hand it off to anybody, fine. I don't need another. I could be good if Mission Impossible stopped.
I'm not against Mission Impossible moving forward without Ethan Hunt. My thing is, once we leave Ethan Hunt behind, these literally have to be fucking team movies because that's what the show was. That's what the first movie even was. They were team movies, man.
Right.
That's why I like 5, because it's a team movie. 4, great parts of 4 was a team movie, and then 6 is a team movie throughout. That's probably why I like that one so much.
Yeah. So
it was finally the perfect team. You had Ethan, Luther, Benji, and Elsa. Perfect team.
Yeah. So let's get back to Mission Impossible, the IMF, and get away from Ethan Hunt and friends.
Yeah, man. Like let's let's take it back to the show and make these team movies again.
Yeah.
Like have an all-star cast, 4 leads.
Right? And why can't we have more? Like, that's how you transition, right? Like, because there's multiple IMF teams doing multiple shit, right?
Yeah.
In each different movie, it's its own self-contained thing, and then you just pack the team with fucking superstars, right?
And, like if we can get a team like what we had in Fallout, fine, keep the team. But if not, then yeah, every Mission Impossible movie, let's rotate teams.
Like a new team, but you just like fucking just a new banger cast, right? Like the hottest stars, put them in there. Like
these should be like, you know, the old school spy films that we used to get, like even Tenet, where like, you know, the protagonist was the leader. Fucking Neil was second in charge and was good with lots. Fucking Ives was the tough dude.
Right.
Fucking Wheeler was the commander. Like yo, have it like that. Like one's team leader, like Jim Phelps. He was team lead. Fucking then you got the other dude who's good with espionage with the mask. Then you have your fucking tech guy. And then you have your person who's good with weapons or martial arts. Like that's what we need to get back to.
Like I want an IMF team led by fucking Brad Pitt.
Yeah, right.
I want an IMF team ran by fucking George Clooney. Like let's get these get some, like I want a team ran by fucking Lucy Liu.
Like yo, you what you do, you get an elder states person.
Right.
Like don't matter, I don't care. Man or woman, what nationality, I don't give a fuck. And then you round out the cast by all superstars.
Yeah.
So you get like Timothy Chalamet, you get Glenn Powell, you get fucking Zendaya, you get Florence Pugh, you get fucking Saoirse Ronan.
Right. But they're one-offs, right? Like self-contained movies all under the Mission Impossible banner, right? And then if you really wanted to, if it's successful enough, after 5 movies, then you have a mega team fucking team up. Like some Avengers shit.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, listen.
You're welcome, Paramount. You're welcome.
Like,
I got you, Paramount.
And you don't, and then if you do that and you just have cool set pieces, then you don't have to worry about your cast trying to put themselves in danger to do the crazy shit that Tom Cruise is doing. Because at that point, you're just making a cool fucking action movie with a team.
Right.
Which is what this should have been in the first fucking place.
Boom. There you go. We saved your franchise. Congratulations.
Yeah, we could have it stop being the Tom Cruise show.
Yeah. But anyway, this looks good. But like
we'll
see. We'll
see.
We'll see. On paper, it looks good. On paper,
we'll see. That Luther shit's really pissing me off. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, bro. Also, for those of you who don't know, Rebecca Ferguson requested to be killed off. She was tired of not working because the way they make these movies, they don't have a fucking script. And you don't know if your character is going to be in the scene that they're going to shoot that day or not. So you got to wait around and wait around and wait around.
That sounds horrible.
And Rebecca Ferguson, she's like, yeah, man, I'm tired of waiting around and being not used and missing out on other projects from other filmmakers I really want to work with.
Yeah,
and I was like, I get that shit.
That sounds that shit. That sounds like a job, right? That sounds like an actual job instead of like an art.
Also, maybe start making these with a fucking finished script instead of just having like a concept and then going in and just trying to tag a whole ass story around all the crazy shit Tom Cruise wants to do.
Right, like
because it did not work the last time. I'll tell you that. You can tell that story was not figured out until post.
Yeah, you have Christopher McQuarrie, right? Like he is an amazing screenwriter. You've got Christopher McQuarrie directing these things. Just have a script, lock it in.
Yeah, man. Jesus Christ.
All
right, let's get into the main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurts feature film review.
Well, I want to start with a movie I saw last Sunday, and This movie was also hyped up because it played at festivals. It was an A24 joint. Everybody's like, Brandon, you got to see it. You know what I'm saying? This movie is by Helena Renhain. If you don't know who she is, she did Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. But she also didn't write Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. She wrote this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is called Baby Girl. Baby Girl is an erotic thriller and dark comedy rolled into one. And the problem with this shit is you've seen it before. You know why? Because this was called 9.5 Weeks. It was called Disclosure. All movies she referenced during the Q&A. And I was just like, yeah, I could clearly see that. She's like, yeah, I want to make one of those movies, but without the male gaze, because it's a lot of stuff in those movies where you're just like, eh. And I'm just like, well, I mean, that's also why they don't make them anymore.
Right.
Like, erotic thrillers are trash.
Right. Like
they're trash cinema. Like, the only one I would consider actually, quote unquote, good is fucking Basic Instinct. Because even Fatal Attraction, I was just like, this is what y'all got gassed up on. I remember my screenwriting professor showed me that in college. And I was just like, this shit, really? This shit is...
And look, I don't have a problem with erotic thrillers, but like you said, they're meant to be trashy, right? Like they're not high art. They're like the bastard cousin of film noir, right?
Yeah, because The Last Seduction's an erotic thriller, and people love that as a noir. I still haven't seen Jade, but I heard Jade's a piece of shit.
Oh, Jade's horrible.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Damn, Linda Fiorentino really killed her career. But that's a whole different other discussion.
That's a podcast in itself.
Yeah. Man, that bitch went off the rails. Like watching this, I was just like, I knew where it was going. Like I saw every story beat, and that's why I was just bored because there's like no surprises, and I've seen these characters before. Like the only thing that changed is the people in the power dynamics, and I was just like, I was like, okay, this is the part where he's going to blackmail her. This is the part where her coworker is going to find out and try to fucking hold that over her head. I guess this is where, her husband's going to come in and he's going to find out. And it's just like, damn, bro. Like,
yeah, like you said, been there, done that, right?
Yeah.
And it's fine, been there, done that, right? It's fine if I know the story beat. Oh, excuse me. But make it interesting.
Yeah, yes. Somehow, some way.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Put some hot sauce on it. Shout
out to Nicole Kidman. She's dummy naked in this. I was not expecting that. I thought she was done with nudity. And
she did what she saw what Demi Moore did in the fucking Substance, and it was like an arms race. It's like now, like which older ladies can get naked or not? I'm sorry, mature women can get naked in a movie fastest.
I want to say this. Nicole Kidman's like pushing 60. Like she's like in her 50s. She's approaching 60. If she's not already 60. Watching this movie, I was just like, because she is Baby Girl, because that's the nickname Harris Dickinson gives her. Yeah, Baby Girl, you didn't need to get all that fucking work done to your body. Like she has abs. She has like, I'm talking like tits of a 20-year-old. I'm like, yeah, Baby Girl, you didn't need to do all that.
I can't talk about what a woman does to her body, but also I can talk about how I hate how actresses in particular have to modify their appearance.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm like, yo, you didn't need to do all that. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do all that. Just because now I'm like, I don't like body shaming, but also like you're clearly looking at like a plastic doll.
Right. Like, I'd rather look at lumps and bumps.
Yeah, man. It's just the thing of getting older. Look, man, I like me a nice, MILF with a MILF body. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you
natural is better.
So sometimes you accidentally click on a GILF video and it's like, well, I'm here now. Right? Sometimes it's like,
also sometimes you're like, yeah, I get why this 18-year-old is going after this 60-year-old. Like, oh, listen.
Right.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I was just like, damn, you didn't need to do that, girl. But like, yeah, like, look, fantastic performances across the board. I'll say that. Like, Harris Dickinson, great in this. Fucking Nicole Kidman kills it. I didn't even know Antonio Banderas was in this. He's in this,
Oh,
and
word?
he kills.
Okay.
Yeah, he kills it.
Yeah.
This drops Christmas Day, so I was just like, ooh,
really? An erotic thriller on Christmas Day.
I was like, yeah, A24. What the fuck were you thinking?
That's
it's just like putting Nosferatu out on Christmas Day. I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
Like, honestly, the people who are going to watch this movie on Christmas Day are the people I actually kind of don't want watching this movie on Christmas Day. Right? Like, if you got a couple of choices.
Yeah, because
right?
when they said, oh yeah, it comes out Christmas Day after the Q&A, I was just like, ooh.
Yeah, like, oh. I was like, if you're going to watch an erotic thriller on December 25th,
I was just like, look, if A24 put The Brutalist out on Christmas Day, that I would get. I'd be like,
right.
yeah, it's a war drama. People are gonna probably want to see an Oscar movie Christmas Day. I at least that I get where they're coming from. You know what I mean? This on Christmas Day, I'm like, bro, why?
Is it even legal to get aroused on Christmas Day? Isn't that like in the Bible?
Yo, that's yo, listen.
Is that in the Bible? Thou shalt not get hard.
I would do the same thing all my married friends would do, which is have a grin on my face as I see my seeds tear open their gifts and look happy with joy at their gifts they're getting. Let them go rampant and then look at my wife and be like, yo, listen, let's go do this while they're distracted and I'm high and drunk.
We circle back to that amateur video conversation.
Listen, that's Christmas. You watch your seeds, be pleased,
and then
fucking get drunk,
and you plant some more seeds,
and then you go take care of business, and then you eat a nice hearty meal and pass out.
So that's the advertisement for Baby Girl right there.
Yeah. I look, people like this movie, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. Like, I somebody's got to tell me what they see in this because everybody's saying how progressive it is, and I'm like, fine, I guess, fine, but like,
just because it's progressive doesn't mean it's good. Just like having representation doesn't mean that what you're watching is good, right? Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to applaud it, right? Like,
yeah.
Let's let's normalize not celebrating mediocrity.
Yeah, man. Like, look. Again, you've seen this before. If you've seen erotic thrillers, you've seen this before.
Well, it's fine. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Jeff. Why don't you take the lead on this? I saw this again. I took my family, and I will talk about my family's reaction once you get your thoughts out about
Conclave.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So saw Conclave this week, and I get the fucking hype, right? Besides the twist, right? This is one of the most well-constructed suspense thrillers to come out in the last 10, 15 years, right? And the thing is, the stakes, right, aren't like the stakes are global, but it's not like, you know, a ticking time bomb, literally, or an assassin, or some shit like that. It's all fucking political. It's all like the politics of the politics of religion, and it is masterfully shot. It's fucking wonderfully acted. It tells you everything you need to know in the first 5 minutes. And I've been thinking about this movie a lot since I watched it. And the one line stuck with me, right, is when Stanley Tucci is talking about how he loved playing chess with the deceased Pope, right? And is like, and Ralph, Ralph Fiennes, or not Ralph Fiennes, who's the dude?
Stanley Tucci?
No, Stanley, the lead,
John Lithgow.
Yeah, he's like talking about like, oh, did you win? It's like, no, like he never let me win. All right, and I'm thinking about it. It's like this dead Pope was playing chess.
Chess, yeah, I said that before. Like he was playing chess.
Yeah, but like to see it,
yeah,
like you saying it, but then like seeing it is like yeah,
the whole movie is seeded out in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's great. The twist, honestly, like the twist is it's a real twist, right? But if you had gotten rid of that, it's still an amazing fucking film, right? The twist was like an oh shit on top of what had already transpired. And I'm not going to say it was unnecessary, but if you excised it from it, I would still give this movie a 10 out of 10.
You can't, though, just because it's so seeded into the movie. Just because, Here's the thing with the twist. Man, there's no reason, and I guess this is a spoiler now, but I'm still not going to say it, but, like, this is a spoiler. There would be no reason for the Pope to hide this cardinal if that twist wasn't there.
Right, yeah. But yeah, no, it's an amazing film. It is honestly one of my top 10 of the year. Like,
this is so far. This is number 2 for me.
You know,
I'm gonna go see it again.
Yeah, and it is infinitely rewatchable because I know there's shit I missed.
Like the second time when I saw it, right before Isabella Rossellini's big moment, they cut to her when John Lithgow was like, "Well, he was a terrible pope," and like the look of rage on her face is so well done, where she's saying so much in that brief moment. They cut to her,
right, and then that's the moment she was like, "Oh, like oh, you done fucked up, dude." Right,
I really, on a rewatch too, I do appreciate though that like rewatching it, she was like, "Yo, not only does she not like these cardinals, she does not trust them." So every time Ray Fiennes was trying to get ahead in his investigation, and she was just like, I was like, "Yeah, I get it." Like watching it the second time, I was like, "I get it." And then after how he handles the one sister, who I won't say what happens with her, after he handled that. The way she warms up to him.
Right.
And it's just like, "Oh, do you need copies of this? I can do that for you." I was just like, damn, that is... Yo, I want to say this. Isabella Rossellini has been one of our greatest actresses for a minute. Like, she's been in a lot and has been working for like over 40 years. She is Ingmar Bergman's daughter. She deserves Best Supporting Actress. I know she's only in this for 8 minutes, but those are some impactful 8 minutes where I'm like, yo, she deserves Best Supporting Actress.
And let me tell you, the scene where the one cardinal starts crying, right? Yo, like, I know you're a scumbag, but also, like, I feel it, dude.
Yo, his reaction, though, when he's confronted with it, like, even my brother after the movie was just like, bro really straight up said, like, who? He was just like, who? And like my brother was just like, dude is still a piece of shit. And I'm like, well, I mean, look, there's a reason why the Pope was just like, none of y'all niggas is Pope. Even while I'm gonna make sure when I die, like the person I want is the person getting elected. That's why he knew exactly what he's doing. He's like, that's why you're gonna run this conclave.
Right. Yeah. But like when dude was crying, it was like, oh man, like you're an ass, you're a dick, and you like deserve it. But also,
he was just like, who?
Yeah, but just to like, to have you see like all of your dreams get flushed down the toilet, and like when Ray finds fucking coins it the way he does, it's like yeah motherfucker, you ain't like you will like it was never gonna happen, right?
Hey, John Lithgow, man, just reverse gaslighting this motherfucker. I was just like, damn, bro, like, yo, like, how you gonna try and tell him, like, the reason why I'm talking like this is because the less you know seeing this movie,
the better.
And even watching the second time, I'm still sitting there even shocked. Like, both times I've seen this, it's been with packed audiences. And both times, every reveal got visceral reactions. Visceral.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say I didn't yell, oh shit, at the end. But I also understand why fucking people are calling this movie woke. I get it. You're assholes, you're dicks, and you're dumb. But I get why they're calling it woke.
In a more optimistic world, we'd have the results that this had.
Yeah, 100%.
I love at the end though. The same group of ladies who said that about Seed of the Sacred Fig, they're just like, they saw somebody they knew. They're like, hey, John, how'd you like it? He also an older white dude, like in his 60s, 70s. He's just like, he looked at them. He's just like, I didn't like it. And then you know what that group of women did? They just broke in laughter. Like they were just sitting there laughing at that nigga. And then you see how mad he got when they started laughing at him. And because they started laughing, me and my brother look at each other and we started laughing.
It's like, of course you didn't like it, man. Of course, we know why you didn't like it.
Yeah,
we 100% we know why you didn't like it.
Yeah, like that movie. My second time seeing it, it was like me and my brother were the youngest people there. Otherwise, everybody else was 60 and older, and a lot of them loved it. And then the few people who didn't, I was like, oh yeah, I see. Walking out, I see why. Why.
I know exactly. Like I know exactly the moment we lost you. Like,
it played exactly how I wanted to for my brother and my mom. Like my brother loves this movie, and every twist I would look over, and this was how he'd be like,
right.
That was my brother. And then you get to the last one, and remember, my mom is a 62, 63-year-old religious black woman from Alabama. Got to that final twist, and I was just like, yes, I knew it. I knew it was going to do it. I knew it.
Got her.
Like Jeff, just mad. Yep. She liked the movie. Like she really liked the movie, but that just made her mad just sitting here. And I was just like, I knew it.
And like, I don't like, yeah, I don't want to give anything away because like the less you know about this fucking movie, the better. But that, just like the election, that twist is going to tell you who the people in your life are.
Yo, first and foremost, watching this again, this shit is meticulously crafted. Like I know I said that the first time, but even on a second time, I'm just so amazed by how this is shot and edited. Like when he breaks the seal on the door and it cuts 3 times to him breaking the seal from different angles, I'm like, nigga, like that's amazing. Yeah. Or the fact that the title card is over the Pope's corpse and we just stay with the Pope's corpse
as
for
it travels,
a whole 2 minutes.
Yeah.
For a whole 2 minutes. Or like I said, the tracking shots where Ray Fiennes is literally in the middle of the frame even when he turns a corner. I'm like, bro, this is fucking nuts.
It's a beautiful fucking film. It really is.
Yeah,
like, beautifully shot. Like superbly acted.
My second time, my favorite part was right after Ray Fiennes gives his prayer and homily, and they have that fucking long slow motion shot where it pushes. Not only is it a dolly shot, but it's a pushing as well, where he's walking in slow motion, and you just see all the Cardinals turn and look at him and start whispering. I'm like, that is amazing, and it's giving you the exact information you need by just this music and this slow motion push-in shot.
And that is movies right there. That is visual storytelling. You show, you do not tell.
Because I know exactly what all those Cardinals are saying.
100%.
This nigga want to be Pope.
Yeah.
This nigga want to be Pope. I felt, and like even watching it the second time, I still felt bad for him. I'm like, yo, this nigga just wants to get out of here. He's just like, bro, I want to get the fuck out of here.
So if you get a chance, watch Conclave.
Hell
and,
yeah.
And like in a theater while it's still playing.
Dog, before we move on, the sound design.
Yeah.
Because we gotta talk about, because there's some shots where people will be watching a conversation at a distance, and that's how you hear it. And then it'll cut to a shot closer, and the conversation is louder.
Yeah.
Or like when Isabel Rossellini and him are having a conversation behind closed doors, and it's a tad bit muffled, and then it cuts to them inside, where we're inside the room with them, and it's clear as shit.
Deliberate sound design.
Finds what?
Deliberate sound design. Like
Ray finds, he'll turn and talk to somebody off camera, and you could hear on the left side of the theater his voice, and then he turns back around and it's coming from the front of the theater again.
It literally, the sound design is as if you are there.
Yeah. I looked up for your consideration screenings, and I found one. It's gonna be showing at Dolby 88, and I was like, yeah, I gotta see this at Dolby 88 and Dolby Atmos. I was like, I'm going to Dolby screening room to see this, because I can only imagine in Atmos how this is going to sound.
And the vote. You know what scene I'm talking about? Like when he cast that vote.
Yeah.
Like in this basic ass theater, that scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
Right? So I can only imagine what's gonna be like in Dolby 88.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I cannot wait. Like, listen, I've been looking up guild screenings to see what I can see if I miss stuff, and now I'm looking at shit I've already seen. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go see it at Dolby 88 just for the sound. Like, I'm seeing Dune. I'm seeing Gladiator at Dolby 88 again. Seeing Dune again at Dolby 88.
Yeah, man, do it. Fucking do it.
So, yeah.
All right, let's.
Anything else you got on Conclave, man?
Nah.
All right then.
Let's move on.
Let's move on then to Red One. Let's start off with what The Rock has been saying on this press tour.
Sure. Go ahead.
I watched the video this morning because it's on the IMAX Instagram channel. Like, he's looking straight down the barrel of the camera with a straight face saying all this. He's like, I went to go see Oppenheimer while we were making Red One. And I asked the people at the theater, I was like, I want to sit in the very seats that Chris and Emma sit in. And he sat there watching Oppenheimer, and he's like, halfway through the movie, I was like, Red One would be a game changer with this technology, like game over. And I'm like, but you didn't shoot not a fucking thing in IMAX, bro.
Right.
And then he straight up says with a straight face, after the movie, I took a picture of my chest, my bare chest. He says his words exactly, his bare chest. And he took a picture of the screen, sent that to Jake Kasdan, the director, and said, wouldn't this be amazing on IMAX?
Okay. So,
if I ever got something like that from an actor, I would straight go to the producers and the studio head and just be like, yo, look, just take my name off this motherfucker.
The Rock has reached peak rockdom.
Bro, and let's talk about the box office real quick. Made $34 million this past weekend. Had this come out from a traditional studio like Warner Brothers or Universal or Disney or any of those, this would be a complete fucking bomb, like utter bomb, because this costs $250 million. But because this is an Amazon movie, they consider this a quote unquote win, because they expect this to play throughout the holidays and also become a classic in the future, where it hits Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people will log on to Amazon Prime and watch this on Amazon Prime. Because this is supposed to be, well, it was supposed to be a franchise starter.
And I get where they're talking about being a franchise starter, because the agency that's working with the North Pole, whatever fucking acronym they use.
Elf.
No, Elf is the production unit. We're talking
Right.
about the one that Lucy Liu works for.
Oh, yeah.
The one that
I forget
what's
too.
the
It
mythical
don't matter.
creatures.
Yeah.
That's a much more interesting concept.
Bro, when they had the Headless Horseman, I was like, I'd rather watch that shit.
Right? I want to watch Lucy Liu Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Right?
Versus this dumb shit.
Right. All right. So I have complicated feelings about Red One. It's not good, but I don't hate it. And I'm watching this, I'm just like, I'm seeing the fucking potential, right? And if they just got out of their own fucking way, if The Rock wasn't involved, right? As big as he is, I think this could have been better. The one thing I kept on saying to myself throughout the whole entire fucking movie is, who is this for?
Yeah, man. The concept's there. I will say that.
Yeah.
The concept is there. It's the execution from everything and everyone. If I was, and everybody besides The Rock,
right,
should be firing their agents, quite honestly, because everybody in this is a good actor. Like, to see Kiernan Shipka in this as the villain, I'm just like, nah. J.K. Simmons in this, nah. Bonnie Hunt, who hasn't been in, I'm like, Bonnie, seriously? Lucy Liu, yeah, you're too good for this shit. Chris Evans doing a terrible Boston accent that is in the movie half of it, and sometimes it's just completely gone. And when that Boston accent is there, it's fucking garbage.
I thought it was Philly accent. See, this is where but this, I can't tell if it's supposed to be a kids movie or an adult movie.
Yeah,
right?
man, because it's too violent for little kids, but also too kiddie for older children.
Right. And I dug some parts of it. I really did. Right. Like, I love how we get the inner work, like how Santa Claus actually delivers the presents. Right.
See that at the end. That's the only part I liked, because I was just like, I would have rather seen a whole movie of this, of like a heist, a reverse heist of Santa trying to make it. He's getting old, he's getting tired, and he's just like, I don't know if I'm going to make this Christmas. And it's him like doing all this cool shit in the last 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? For the entire movie.
And like, there are bits and pieces, like I kind of like the Krampus shit, right? But the Krampus shit is too scary for a kids movie.
Stupid. That Krampus shit is stupid.
And the whole entire movie is stupid, right?
The opening credits, the sequence over the opening credits, that shit looked like it needed some Benny Hill shit over it. Like, like I was like, even down to stealing the baby's candy. I'm like, bro, this is fucking corny, man.
Right. Like, and so, but I expected this thing to be much worse. I did.
Oh, it I mean, I think it's pretty fucking bad. Can we talk real quick about the cinematography? Everything is fucking dark. And when it's not dark, it looks like it's shot in front of a green screen. Like, there's a part where Dwayne and Chris are on a beach, and they are clearly floating.
Right.
Like, their feet aren't even on the ground. I'm like, you guys couldn't go to Hawaii or Costa Rica or somewhere and just film this shit on a beach real quick? Like, it is Argyle level atrocious. And like, some of this shit is so dark. I'm just like, did y'all not do color timing on this? Like, even the red and green in this movie is muted.
Right.
The reindeer look like shit. And like, the only thing that looks good is the polar bear, and even the polar bear looks fucking CG'd out.
And here's the thing. like going back to the Krampus shit, that shit was terrifying, right? Like when they go to the dark elf world or whatever, the Krampus land. It was like, this would be better served in a Halloween movie, right? and that's why I'm like, who is this for, right? Because if I was a little kid, I would be terrified watching this. Right?
I'm very confused though, because like, again, watching this movie, I mean, besides the story being dog shit, it looks like the actors aren't even when they're on screen together. It looks like they're not on screen together. It looks like they shot their scenes separately and just composited that shit together.
I mean, honestly, it could have been, right? But for here's the thing. I'm being nice to this because I am a sucker for as much as I dislike what Christmas has become, I'm a sucker for a Christmas movie where like the bad guy, like where like the bad dude turns himself around and he finds Christmas and he becomes a hero. I'm a sucker.
Because the holiday spirit. I mean, even though Christmas is now like a commercialized holiday,
right,
you still have the nostalgia and Christmas spirit from when you still loved Christmas. And
right.
like that, I get. Like, I get what the movie's trying to say, but like...
And so, like, I did feel myself kind of like getting pulled in towards the end where it actually tried to make an emotional connection, right? When, like, Santa, like, spoiler alert, when Chris Evans reconciles with his son and they're all on Santa's sleigh and Santa's doing that shit, I got a little teary-eyed because, like, I remember, like that hope, right?
I mean,
like that Christmas spirit.
That's the best part of the movie is J.K. Simmons as Santa. Like, everything that's cool has everything to do as J.K. Simmons as Santa. Otherwise, like, the mechanics of this shit just don't make sense to me. Like, why would toy vehicles be able to function like real vehicles if you made them bigger? They wouldn't.
Yeah, not like, see,
especially if you say, Chris Evans makes a joke and says, "Hey, I want a Wonder Woman doll," and he's like, "It doesn't work like that." And I'm like, "Why the fuck not? Because you're turning toy cars into real fucking cars." Like, I mean, like, shit makes no sense.
But like, and here's the thing: you can always tell when you don't fuck with a movie when you start really nitpicking the science behind how this shit. Because if this was a better movie, that shit wouldn't have bothered you nearly as much. And I get that.
No, man, but like, you can't put that shit in there though. You can't be like, "Oh, it doesn't work like that," but then not explain the shit.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And you know what? The action sequence with him chasing the vehicle at the beginning would have been really cool if it was less CG and it was lit better. We could see what the fuck was going on, because that shit is almost in complete darkness.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like that whole entire him riding up the mountain, causing an avalanche.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's dumb, but it would have been fun dumb if you could actually see what was going on.
Same with the end set piece. That shit is
the fight
on a bridge,
right?
In complete darkness, and I'm just like, dog, this is a Christmas movie. Like, I get it. The North Pole during December, it's dark, but wouldn't that shit be lit up? Like, that's the one thing. Like, say what you will about the Polar Express, but at the end of that movie, the North Pole's lit the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, like, there's green and red. It's bright. It's colorful. You got elves doing skydiving shit to put lights on the Christmas tree. Also, speaking of, kind of wish the elves were in it more. They're just in there in the background every once in a while.
Right. Like everything that doesn't have to do with the main narrative is better, right?
Yeah, right. Like, the whole idea that J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus is jacked because he gets that much of a workout in from Christmas night.
Yeah.
Like, it burned, and he says, like, "Oh yeah, I burned 40,000 calories a day," and that's why he's able to eat as many milk and cookies as he can. That's why he's so jacked, because he preps all year for this, and then the one night he has to be slim and limber to like go around.
The fact that like they're able to deliver the presents because they got a fucking shrinking machine,
right?
And that's how he's able to get inside everybody's fucking chimneys. It's like, oh, how was that thought out, right? How was the mechanics of delivering presents more thought out than the actual
fucking movie?
Yeah,
I mean, the other cool part of that shit too is like Santa accidentally steps on a Christmas light, and Elf jumps down out of the sleigh, fixes that shit, and then rappels back up into that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like I'm like that's cool as shit. The only person who belongs in this besides The Rock is Nick Kroll. When Nick Kroll showed up, I was like, yeah, this seems about right.
Yeah, it's a Nick Kroll.
That
is a Nick Kroll part.
Yes. In a movie that you definitely, yeah.
And so like I
fell asleep a few times. I'll be real with you.
I mean, of course, and I get it. So yes, is this a good movie? Not at all.
And this will not become a Christmas classic. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, right. Like Amazon, y'all. Let's be real. Like, I know everybody's trying to put some spin on it because Amazon's more interested in streaming, but like, this is a money loser,
right? Like,
because you did too much marketing behind it too. And don't get me wrong, sure, you made $30 million that you wouldn't have otherwise, but also you probably paid that $30 million just to get it distributed,
right? And the thing is, if they of the $250 million budget, right? If they had spent an extra $10 million or reallocated $10 million to story, this might have been a classic.
Well,
right?
The problem too is this
was
because it was originally 200 and it ballooned to 50. Because he's now come out and said, like, yeah, it's true, I'm late. Yeah, it's true, I do pee in bottles, but the whole thing's blown out of proportion. I'm just like, I don't know, nigga. Between that report and now what you're saying on this press tour, doesn't really seem out of the realm of reality. Like the fact that one person inflated the budget by $50 million, not because of demands or residuals or shit like that. It's just because you don't know how to fucking act. I don't know.
I hate to say this, but I love to say this. If John Cena was in this,
it would have been a little more. Because that's the problem too. Is like, The Rock has been acting now for 20 years. My man is 50. The one thing he also said on this press tour is. Jeff, I didn't tell you this. So you're hearing this for the first time.
Uh-huh.
When the Scorpion King was coming out, he said to his agent, I think I could be a bigger actor than Will Smith or George Clooney. I could be better than George Clooney.
I mean, not better. Bigger maybe, but not better.
George Clooney has done so much both in front and behind the camera. There's also one thing that both Will Smith and George Clooney have that The Rock doesn't, which is, two things. One, range. Two, charisma. Somebody brought this up. Will Smith has the same career as The Rock. Thing is, he has range. So every movie feels different. Like iRobot, a movie that is decent, but is good because of Will Smith. Because he could elevate that. Hitch, another movie that we'd all be like, it's okay. Elevated because of Will Smith, the chemistry between him and Eva Mendes, and the chemistry between him and Kevin James.
And also if you ever read his autobiography, Will, right? He's got a fucking formula for how he picks a movie, right?
I mean, it's almost the same thing as The Rock, but he can make it work.
Right, but like the Rock's formula is like the fucking when you try to make a KFC chicken at home. It's like you kind of got the ingredients, but you don't got the right order. All right?
He's not here's the thing. Will Smith is a natural leading man. The Rock is not a leading man, and he's had 20 years now to prove he could be a leading man. And he's been good as a leading man in movies earlier in his career, like The Rundown or Gridiron Gang.
But the thing is, he doesn't want to be an actor. He wants to be a star, right? And that's the thing.
You can't skate by on that, though.
Right? I know this, but like he wants to be a star. And even with people like Tom Cruise every once in a while proves that he's an actual fucking actor.
And I will give Tom this. At least he has the audience in mind when he's making a movie. So like,
Right.
even if he's not doing anything different or new acting wise,
Right.
he's still trying to give you like a spectacle and make you be like, yo, I'm giving you an experience. You know what I mean?
Like one
You're
of my
not getting
favorite.
that from, you're not going to get a Top Gun Maverick from The Rock. You're not even going to get a Mission Impossible from The Rock, dude.
You're not gonna get you're definitely not gonna get a Collateral from The Rock.
Oh no.
Right.
And like, yo, listen, he has the smashing machine to prove us wrong.
Right.
But if that doesn't work out, it's basically done for him, man.
Yeah, like it's too much saturation, and it's too much buying into his own ego.
Yeah, the ego shit is what's pissing me off now.
Right.
Because now, very rarely do I'm like, oh, this nigga has to be humbled. I'm at the point where like, oh yeah, this nigga has to be humbled. Because the shit that he's saying, the shit that he's pulling, I'm like, you're not worth this, man. I'm sorry, you're just not worth this.
And I know you got to talk big to sell your movie, but also know the movie that you're making, and also respect the audience, but also respect the fact that people are spending money to come see you on the screen. People are spending.
You don't hear people hyping their movies up like he does. Like, you know, take for instance Beetlejuice. Everybody's just like, yeah, we hope you go see it. We had fun making it. We're really glad we got to make it. Dune Part 2. Everybody's like, hey man, we got to make this. We love working with Denny. It was a tough shoot, you know. Inside Out 2. Amy Poehler's like, I'm glad we got to do it. I hope we get to make one every 10 years. Right. This motherfucker, Red One's gonna be a game changer. I'm just like,
Well, because he comes from WWE, man. He comes from that wrestling world where it's all about hype and circumstance.
But again, you have Dave Bautista out here promoting movies, and he's just like, bro, look, I'm in this movie. Come see it or don't. He's like, look, I
right. And like
he even said, he's like, yo, I want to be an actor. The Rock is an entertainer.
Yeah, like, and we've pontificated enough about this. Like, I liked it a little bit more than you did, but we can both agree that this was a wasted effort.
It doesn't help. Look, The Rock has been in a rut for a minute, and I mean like a long minute, and this is just not helping things. Like, sure, it has an A- cinema score, but that ain't gonna help it just because what's coming out this week? Gladiator 2 and Wicked. Next week, Moana. Nobody's gonna go see this shit.
Yeah.
Plus, and then you're telling me in a month we have Lord of the Rings, we have Kraven the Hunter, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, we have Mufasa, right?
Yeah, like it's a perfect storm for any movie that is not top tier to get swallowed.
Yeah, man, and they're saying they expect this to play and have a leggy run till the new year. I'm like, it'll
be lucky if it ends next week, if it runs through next week.
Yeah, man, because sure, it overperformed expectations, but $34 million on a $250 million budget is nothing to celebrate, y'all.
Yeah,
it really isn't. Y'all calling that a win? Again, if this was coming from a studio, everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, this is a huge failure."
Yeah, I mean, like, how much did Joker 2 make in this first weekend?
Like 40, 45,
45 on pretty much the same budget.
Right? A little less.
A little 190. Less, right? And it's considered a massive failure.
Oh yeah, man. And after that opening weekend, it was gone basically. Right. I do want to say, oh man, I had a thought and it's gone. But like, yeah, dude, I don't know, Red One.
It's there. It'll be there for at least another week.
Oh, wait a minute. This is what my point was. Gladiator 2 opened overseas this past weekend. Mm-hmm. Opening weekend made anywhere. The figures are still coming in. Anywhere from 87 to 90 million. Just overseas. Overseas. Red One opened last weekend overseas. And mind you, this is just overseas. 20 million.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, it's like it's not looking good for you, Red One.
And it didn't have a good overseas weekend this weekend either, because Gladiator 2 just came out and just ate.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, maybe the supercuts of this movie will do better online. I don't know. I don't know. Like, and here's the thing: if it were a better story, if it were structured better, if The Rock wasn't being The Rock, right, and all the baggage that comes along with him, I think this may not be a Christmas classic, but it could have been a franchise starter.
I will say this too. Chris Morgan, I can now officially say he's not a good writer. Like, the only good movies he's written have been Fast 4, Fast 5, Fast 6, and Fast 7. Because even he wrote Tokyo Drift, and even Tokyo Drift sucks. He wrote the one F. Gary Gray did, the 8th Fast and Furious. Right. That one sucks. Look, man, you're not a good writer. He wrote the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff. That's why there hasn't been a sequel, because everybody saw that and was just like, man, this thing is not that good.
Like, if your best movies are a Fast and the Furious, then, yeah, that says a lot.
Maybe that's why I like F9, because he didn't write that shit.
I mean, we haven't heard about F10 Part 2.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like, I'm like, yo, you guys are real. Instead of making The Rock just be in this last Fast and Furious movie, y'all are really gonna give him another spinoff when the last one didn't work.
What was that? I'm sorry. Huh?
They're going to give him his own another spinoff after his last one didn't work.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Dante, because apparently the villain for Fast X Part 2 is going to be different. So Dante's story is going to be wrapped up in the fucking spinoff.
Sure. Fine. I'm done talking about The Rock. I can't anymore. I'm rocked out.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I don't want to see any more movies with this guy. Like, I'm just at the point where I'm like, yo, I'm good on you, bro.
I'm just gonna keep watching The Rundown over and over again.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm seriously good on you. Like, the last time I liked him was in Fast 7, and that's it.
I mean, what about fucking the boat one, the Disney boat one, Treasure?
Oh yeah, Jungle Cruise. Okay,
Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise.
that was decent.
Oh yeah,
damn, that was the only one people where we all agreed, like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and that was beginning of pandemic.
And it's not like he had some hitters before that, because like right before that he had the Hobbs and Shaw. It was something else in Hobbs and Shaw, and we were just like, ooh, ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Red one.
Let's get into Wicked.
So total opposite of Red One.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've stated this before. I do not fuck with musicals, right? But Wicked is something fucking special, right? And it only honestly gets better the second time you see it.
I believe that.
Because the first time we saw it, we were in a screening room, and I had the tallest woman in New York in front of me, and it was a small, shitty screen. The yesterday's screening, it was at Lincoln, but we were in the IMAX theater.
Oh, you guys weren't in Dolby?
No, we weren't. We were in Dolby. We were in the theater number 1, the IMAX one. Is that Dolby?
Dolby's theater 1. Theater 13 is IMAX.
Okay, so we were in Dolby. It plays fucking fantastic big.
How was the Atmos sound? Because you were in an Atmos theater.
It was all right. It was decent.
Was it better than the screening we went to, or just about the same? Okay.
Much better. Much better. This, and you're going to get this for the next 4 years. This movie is very topical.
Oh yeah, right? Hell yeah! I was triggered watching this shit. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers is racist.
Right? Like, I was so triggered because, like, why is this extraordinary fucking person having to, like, subjugate herself to these fucking these fucking
Doofuses.
idiots,
Yeah,
these fucking
doofuses.
boring ass mediocre fucking people. Like and so it's very triggering. Like I told Jamal that this is the fucking one of the blackest movies to come out this year, just because like it's there. Even though Elphaba is green, well, she's black, right? Like, yeah.
I want to say, like, yo, look, I personally wasn't, I got to see it again.
Yeah.
But I wasn't fully locked in until a scene that had me on the verge of fucking tears. Like, when we got to that one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all been asking me online. So, yes, the hat scene. Yes, the dance. That's where I was just like, oh, I'm in it now.
So 2 times seeing it, almost on the verge of tears both fucking time, right? And like I knew it was worse the second time because I knew it was coming, right?
That's
like
the thing is like that's the reason why I couldn't lock in. It's just because I was like, everybody's being so comically shitty to her, and like the because that's a stereotype of 80s movies, and like I'm tired of seeing that stereotype. But at least it works in the narratives in the movie's favor. So that makes that scene hit harder.
Yeah. I will say the only part of the movie that like I can honestly say didn't work for me was everything before the title card. Right? Like it was messy. Like I knew they had to tell the story, right? They had to set the
And they have
set the world up.
They had to do that just to let you know, like, yo, listen, because once you get to the end of the movie, if they didn't have that before the title card, you could have been like, oh, okay, shit's done. All that's there to let you know, like, oh no, there's still more. Because where the movie ends, I was like, oh, this could have been the end, bro.
Right. But like it's real. It's real messy and disjointed. Right.
Yeah. Just like Dune, the Dune opening for the TV show, not the movies.
Right.
Prophecy, the show.
Yeah. So like it's all backstory bullshit. But once they get past the backstory, this thing hits for me. Cynthia Erivo, and I said this earlier in the show, like you know about her, you've seen her in plenty of things, but this is going to make her a superstar.
And she's definitely going to get nominated for Best Actress. I will say, I was very surprised by Ariana Grande. I was like, I did not know she had this in her. Holy shit.
And like, I've never liked someone I've hated so much. Right? Like,
I said this to you after screening. She grew up. You could tell she grew up. It's like Justin Bieber, where when I was younger, I was like, yo, he's a douchebag. And now you're just like, oh, you just needed to grow up.
I wasn't even talking about her in like real life. I'm talking about in the movie. I hated.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I hated her.
Oh, yeah.
But then I really like. I kind of like you are a bad person, but I fuck with you.
Also in the movie, she grew up.
Yeah, I fuck with you. Like I hate you, but I fuck with you, right?
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
But like, and
she's got comic chops, man. She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
she's goddamn hilarious.
I'm excited to see this again in 4DX 3D. I tried to see if there was tickets available before a screening I'm going to Saturday night, and it's gone. So I'm gonna try and get tickets when they go on sale next week because next Sunday I'm going to a screening of Night Bitch. So hopefully there's. I like saying that title, Night Bitch. I heard that movie's wild, so I'm excited to see it.
Right.
But yeah, I hope there's tickets. I could get a ticket for Times Square Regal because that shit is loud and it's huge. It's the biggest 4DX in the world. See it in 4DX 3D. Hopefully my 3D glasses won't fly off my face like Transformers. Like,
but like I love this movie so much that I don't know if I could do it justice talking about it in the time that we have. Right?
Yeah, because I don't want to get too into it just because it's a lot of this shit is spoilers, like real
Right.
spoilers, and I want people to go in like how I went in. I ain't know shit about Wicked other than Defying Gravity, and
Right.
I'll tell you what, hearing that song in full for the first time in the movie and the set piece that it accompanies, I was like, damn, this is powerful.
And honestly, when you hear Defying Gravity and everything that goes along with it, right? That set piece, honestly, it's one of the best superhero moments we've had this year.
And they
right?
explain one thing I appreciate is they explain the mechanics of how how you say Elphaba?
Elphaba. Look at Elfie.
Elphaba.
Yeah.
Elphaba's powers work. At least because there's a Q&A, and I gotta say, I respect John M. Chu a lot because you could tell that motherfucker is protective.
Yeah, he cares.
Of the cast he works with. Like, you could tell he takes care. I was like, that's why his last few movies have been bangers. Like Crazy Rich Asians has been amazing. In the Heights was so fucking good. I'm mad y'all let that shit flop. Now I'm watching Wicked. I'm just like, I know Spike Lee and Ryan Coogler want to do it, but let this motherfucker do Hamilton, honestly.
Yeah,
I only trust John M. Chu with musicals now.
Right. And listening to them talk, all of them, about how intricate the process was, you can tell that this was not a cash grab.
Oh, no, this was a labor of love.
Right? Because, like, the fact that when they told us, they sang those songs live, right? On set. There was no, like, recorded track that they were lip syncing to.
And John M. Chu was going to do that. He's just like, this movie's hard work already on top of them singing. And then they're like, oh, Ariana and Cynthia Erivo, they just did it. And he's just like, all right, well, if y'all want to do it, if you feel comfortable.
Right. If you're rocking, I'm rolling. Yeah.
Right. I was just like, damn, bro. He said that if you feel comfortable, not like, oh, you have to. I was like, damn, this nigga really protects his cast, man.
And like a lot of the shit in the movie, not a lot, but it's ad lib, right? It's really Ariana and Cynthia
just riffing,
which
is funny because the dude who is intricate to the play, Mark Platt, was there, and he even told us, like, yeah, this was supposed to be a movie before it was a musical,
right?
And they told us to make it into a musical first. He was just like, we were on set every day and very protective because this is why it took 20 years, just because we didn't trust people.
Right.
And the fact that I was just like, oh, y'all motherfuckers were on set every day to make sure they stuck to the script, and y'all still gave them enough latitude to like improvise,
to make their own movie, yeah,
and put it in the movie. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I want to see this again, right? I want to see it a third time. I want to see it a fourth time, right? Like, it's just such. It's a fucking magical movie. I hate saying that.
Y'all go do double features, bro. Go see Wicked and go see Gladiator 2. Yeah. Wicked, I will say this: 2 hours and 45 minutes. 10 minutes is credits. So 2 hours and 35 minutes does not feel that long, honestly.
No, it doesn't.
To me, it felt like it was like 2 hours and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
It moves.
And I cannot honestly wait for part 2. Right? Like,
here's the thing, though. I've heard from everybody that's seen the musical says, like, the musical climaxes after during Defying Gravity, and like the rest of it is just like meh.
Because everybody I've talked to, all my musical theater nerds, say it gets wild in part 2, right?
Really?
It gets like in the second part, right?
I do want to give a shout out though to everybody who worked on this. Like, shout out to the production design, because the sets are great when they do use sets. Because don't get me wrong, there's CG in this movie, and I ain't gonna hold you. Like, some of the CG, I'm like, but it's not. It is not Argyle, and it's not Red Notice CG,
right?
But it's noticeable. But the sets are amazing in this. The costume design is amazing in this. Shout out to the casting director, because they found the most adorable little girl to play the sister. Like, the way she delivers that. Yeah. I was just like, that's adorable.
It's adorable. It was too much for me. She was too sweet. It was like,
that was perfect. I was like, she was like, yeah, I wanted to give that little girl a hug.
Yeah.
Also, and then to continue that, and you find another just adorable girl to play the sister as she's older, and she's actually disabled because I saw the pictures from the red carpet. Both girls are disabled in real life, so the little girl and the older one. I was just like,
not good for them, but good for the casting to not
to actually hire disabled people and give them roles and shit like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, great cat, because these are everybody across the board is fantastic. Like, I don't really have not a complaint from a performance, honestly. Like, the casting director really did their fucking job.
Like I said, my only complaint is the backstory, which I understand they had to put it in. I just wish it were done better. But beyond that,
I gotta see it again.
But beyond that, like, boom, like and the fact that it made me, it's so fucking topical. But I guess it's been topical for 25 years.
Because I guess that's why people go to see it, have seen it like 4 times on Broadway.
Yeah. And it was like, it's a movie about racism and without being a movie about racism. Yeah.
And fascism, racism and fascism.
Yeah.
Shout out to the old school Universal logo. That shit was dope as fuck.
Yep. And even the lettering, right?
It was old school, from the old 1930s Wizard of Oz, yo.
And honestly, watching this on a bigger screen, you could really tell that they shot anamorphic.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, they shot it like it was scope. They shot it big.
Listen, I'm gonna see it in 3D because I've seen every Wizard of Oz movie in 3D. Like, I saw the OG Wizard of Oz in IMAX 3D when they did a re-release. And you know how they do the IMAX countdown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That shit was in sepia tone.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yeah. And then I saw the Disney one that Sam Raimi did in IMAX 3D. That shit was... I'm like the only person who enjoys that movie.
Wait, Sam Raimi did a Wizard of Oz movie?
Yeah, for Disney.
A live action?
Yeah.
Really?
Oz the Great and Powerful, or James Franco's Oz.
I forgot.
Mila Kunis is in that. Fucking Michelle Williams is in that as Glinda.
I forgot all about that. Oh, shit.
I'm like the only motherfucker who's like, yeah, I enjoyed that. Everybody's like, really? It's a terrible movie. I'm like, maybe it's because like...
Maybe because you're enjoying your heart. Maybe because you're salty bitch.
Yeah, so I hope I'm going to catch this in 40x 3D. Like, I got to see this in 40x because I know Defying Gravity is going to be wild in that 40x 3D.
Y'all are like, you are not ready for Defying Gravity. You really aren't. Like, that whole entire oh my god. It's the movie's worth it for that sequence.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see it again. I don't want to get too much into it, but that's all I got. Like,
yeah, like it's
I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to.
For like for me, who does not fuck with musicals, like this is a movie that I want to watch again and again.
All right, Moana 2. I know you're going to make money either way, but I just hope you're good, man. I hope you're good. Shout out to Jared Bush. Like, you fuck with us, I fuck with you. But, like, you know, I haven't seen Moana 1 since I went to my press screening, like, 6 years ago.
I've never seen Moana 1, so I got to watch that this weekend.
Yeah, I remember walking out of Moana 1. I was just like, sure. Yeah. So that's what I'm afraid of getting another sure.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. We'll see. All right, that is episode 139.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.